Joey D'Amato.
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 Joey D'Amato. Joey D'Amato.
Yes, y'all, it's going down right now. Episode 149 of the 22 Shots of Moodz and Horror podcast is coming at you live. I am your host, the man who gets so drunk he can't figure out how to use Google Hangouts on YouTube. The motherfucking man, Moodz. Yeah. And of course, I always got my two lush co-hosts by my side. First up, we have the Mexican asshole who can't even be on time for the live stream because he had to visit his illegal alien cousins before we started. Double Shot J, aka JP. And last up, we have the little boy who will tell you to shut the fuck up and drain all the fun out of the live streams because his rules have been broken. Downbeat Dahlia, aka Ellen DeGeneres 22. What's going on, homies?
Do you watch back the last half hour of the live stream, Moodz?
No, I did not.
Oh, you should go back and watch that shit. It's legendary.
I could just
because
imagine.
Literally, you're like looking at me with a fucking glazed look, and I keep telling you what to do, and you're not answering me.
It's
you keep
because
giving me that glazed look.
It's because it's because I couldn't see you. I had no picture.
But it doesn't matter. I'm talking to you. I was like, Moodz, all you have to do is show me your screen. And then you show me your screen and you don't minimize the window that's showing me the screen. So it's showing the Hangout screen. So I couldn't see where the audio was coming from. And then you got so frustrated that you're just like, fuck this. And you left the Google Hangout and you ruined everything.
How drunk were you, Moodz?
I don't know what the fuck was going on, dude, because I didn't have the video. I had the video paused. Like, it wasn't feeding back through there. And
I didn't.
So I don't know what the fucking problem was, man.
Like, but how drunk were you? Just out of curiosity.
I could have still kept going, but I was just...
I know you could have. Because you're insane, but like, were you pretty drunk?
I was getting there. Yeah, I was pretty good. But still, like, I should go back and check it out because, like, I still don't have a fucking clue what the hell happened, man.
Like, neither do we.
It's so
because
fucking
you wouldn't
weird.
fucking talk. You were just looking.
I know, it's like so fucked because I'm like, okay, this thing isn't playing. Where's this feedback? I could not figure it out for life. And plus, being, I was 17 beers deep at that time, so that was not helping out my mental capacity. I was pretty much full-blown retarded at that point. So
yeah, you know what though, man?
It's so weird. It's so weird. I don't even know, like, everything just went to shit on me. I was like, what the fuck?
It was awesome though. Like it regardless of how it ended, it was pretty freaking fun, and everybody seemed to enjoy it. People were begging us to restart just because they were having so much fun, which is huge because we're sitting there talking while movies are on. You know what I mean? Like how's that entertaining? But people seem to enjoy it a lot. We got a ton of support on the Patreon that night. Speaking of which, I should just shout out all the people who did support the Patreon. Because we promised to give him a shout out on an episode. Yeah,
because every time you fucking got a Patreon, Moodz wouldn't shut up, and he kept on talking, cutting out JP when he was saying, we have a new Patreon, and Moodz would just keep on talking.
That's because I was getting asked questions constantly in there, man. I wasn't... And the fucked up thing was that I actually felt shitty because half the fucking time I wasn't even answering people because they would ask shit, of course, when Joe Bob was talking. So I was trying to fit in everything.
You gotta just pause the chat. You gotta pause the chat.
I know, but I was like... I don't know. I just didn't want to have to go back through. Like, it would have taken... I felt like I would have never caught up to it. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just keep talking, whatever. But.
All right. So, here's the list of the people that hopped onto the Patreon during the live stream. So we got Matt Jankowski, a.k.a. Matt Janikowski, Aaron Corvell, Scott Crawford, Orc145626, Dan Dezak, and then we actually got another one after that. Ron Coleman. Yeah, that came in today.
That's how many new Patreon supporters?
Yeah.
Wow, crazy. I really was talking a lot because I didn't know that we got any.
We're up to $236 a month, fellas.
That's what happens. I was just excited to be on.
So we got 6 new Patreon supporters, which is huge.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's, that's a good bit of people to join the Patreon, and the early access, you guys will all be able to download the show a few days early, including this one, which is the 4th and final Italian Horror Month for the year 2018, 16th overall.
No, it's the final week of Italian Horror Month.
What did I say?
The final Italian Horror Month.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to call it quits after 4.
It is. Technically, it is the final Italian Horror Month of 2018.
Yeah, I guess, but we only have one.
Yeah.
It's like saying you have one in a row.
Final week of Italian Horror Month in the year 2018 and the 16th overall.
Mm-hmm. And I believe
we've 16th Italian Horror Month.
12 different directors.
No, 16th Italian Horror Week.
No, 16 Italian Horror Month episode, like I said.
Yeah. And I believe 13 different directors. Is that correct?
I don't know. Argento 4 times.
Yeah, so that makes up for 16.
We did Fulci twice.
We did do
That's
Fulci
a trivia
twice.
question right there. 12. Who were all of the Italian horror directors that we covered?
Dude, I completely forgot that we did Fulci twice.
Yep.
Crazy.
Fulci twice.
Shit. Oh, wow. You know what? I probably couldn't even name them all. Actually, maybe I could. Now when I actually think about it, I could.
Yeah.
But
I just don't know if I knew how to say all the names.
For me, this is kind of like...
Actually, the one last year I always forget.
Bianchi.
Yeah, that's the one that would have tripped me up. Oh, by the way, Moodz, there's Opera twice. You logged Opera twice in your Letterboxd.
You know what? 100% for sure, because I watched the Scorpion Blu-ray early in the year when it came out. You're right. Thank you for finding that. That's crazy. There you go.
And November 2018. So March 11th and November 3rd is when you logged those. Just thought I'd let you know that.
I knew it because I knew it was something to do with the podcast for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. But yeah.
I also had Opera logged twice, just as a little random fact. But yeah, so the Joe Bob thing was a pretty big hit. People enjoyed it. We enjoyed it. Me and Jeremy were both not feeling the best that night. I don't think towards the later half.
I think I was feeling too good. I was making up for you guys not feeling the greatest.
I took taking 6 shots in vodka was not the best thing.
That's not good for
I
anybody.
don't like vodka.
Not good for anybody.
Hey, I took a shot of something that was 101 proof. I'm a real man.
Yeah, you took a shot of wild. For somebody that doesn't drink to take a shot of wild turkey, that's a little extreme. That's some pretty strong shit, dude.
I really took 4 shots instead of 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't take shots of wild turkey. That's man shit.
I don't even know what it is. I just pulled it out of the fucking cabinet. I didn't even look at the damn label.
As soon as you turned it around, I saw wild turkey. I lost it. I was like, that is amazing. Good shit.
See, I did Maker's Mark last time. I thought that was worse than...
Well, how many shots did you end up doing on there?
3.
I did 5 or 6.
I did 2 in my mule and 1 straight up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so one thing that of note is, by the way, Joe Bob killed it again. I mean, the guy is just legendary.
Yeah,
he is so good. Because I went back and watched some of the scenes that we missed, and he's just so good at what he does, man. I thought about this too when I was a kid, and Monster Vision. A lot of people who weren't around for it didn't understand it. They're like, why would you want to watch edited horror movies on TV with some guy talking about them? It wasn't like...
It wasn't about watching it for the
Vampira.
movies. It was watching it for Joe Bob's commentaries.
Yeah, and the movies too, but I mean...
Yeah, secondary.
The thing is, like, it isn't like Elvira or Vampira or even like Svengoli or any of those guys. They're more of just like a character. They don't really get into much. But Joe Bob is... different. He actually designs a narrative to talk about like his monologues are incredible. Like they're like essays, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I figured in the internet age, that might not go over so well because the information is out there. But he still comes with nugs, man. He comes with nuggets of information that you don't expect or know.
Like he was talking about the drive-in in Blood Rage, and talking about like the hit, like he went there back in the day and he was talking about it and all that kind of stuff. It's like you really can't find that kind of information on the internet. Or he was talking about the movie that was on the marquee in the drive-in and how he saw it in 1973, and he was like an actual movie that was written by the guy who directed.
Yeah, when
Blood
you're telling
Rage and stuff like that.
When you're telling personal stories like that, man, you can't get any better than that. But
not only that,
he's so captivating. He's so captivating when he was talking, and he was telling such personal things about some of these directors, like Tobe Hooper and things like that. And I was like,
stuff that he knew that firsthand, that he met these guys and talked to them. And for somebody who's never experienced Joe Bob in sort of a live format like yourself, in Canada they didn't have it. Mm-hmm. So like even you were impressed. So it's not just a nostalgic thing.
No, I was very impressed. I was so captivated by his commentary and his words that it got to a point where I was like, man, dude, like you said, the information for these movies and stuff, all the factoids, we can find. But he was coming up with some shit that was blowing my mind, for one thing. I was like, how the fuck does he know this shit? And it got to the point where I thought he was just making shit up, man. Because it was like so original. And that's a beautiful thing, man. That's a hard thing to do in this day and age where, like you said, all the information is a click away.
Yeah.
But it takes somebody special like Joe Bob who has personal experiences and has these personal facts about these certain things, and that's what makes him special, man. But he's a really good talker. He's a good talker. I mean,
and even tackling films like
he doesn't know how to look for the signal on which camera to look at, but
he does that on
thing.
purpose.
Yeah, he does that on purpose.
He's always done that. That's kind of a thing that he does.
Is it? Okay, see, at first I wasn't sure because it was like, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, he'll turn away from one camera and look at one that's not the camera that they're on, and then they'll switch to it.
Yeah,
he's done that since TNT days.
That's pretty funny.
But here's my thing, man. This could have happened when I sent out that tweet like 2 years ago and said, hey, you guys should get Joe Bob on Shudder. You know what I mean?
Oh, here we go again. JP's responsible.
Yeah. But listen, it could have happened, right? They could have been like, you know what JP shot? We are gonna try this. And it could have happened, and it could have been just a little splash in the pan. But it didn't, and it broke the internet, and then it apparently was really successful again on Thanksgiving, a holiday, and on a work night for most people. It makes me so happy that it is successful, because if it wasn't successful, it would have been really disappointing. And you know what? Joe Bob deserves it to be successful.
Yeah.
He's getting up there in age. He's getting older. And to see him be able to have a show again and do what he loves to do in front of an audience again is truly special to me. I love it. I think that it's one of the cooler things that it might be the story of 2018 for me. Is the return of the horror host with Joe Bob, and man, I mean it's great. Like I want to have these forever, and I hope I hope that the Christmas one, which we will be doing, on December 21st.
December 21st, Friday. Yeah.
Probably gonna do the Silent Night, Deadly Night sequels is our hunch.
Yeah.
Part 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Because they had to skip part 1.
Yeah, and
because it's all explained in part 2. I have a feeling that's what he's going to say.
Yeah,
it's all explained in part 2. It's all explained in part 1.
Oh,
I can't wait to hear what he has to say about those films and like the backstories of those films, because that's interesting.
I can't wait for him to talk about how big of a hypocrite Mickey Rooney is. That shit's
he's definitely gonna bring that up. I cannot imagine, because that's some like tidbit shit that not a lot of people know.
But these are good films for him to do though, because they are so bad, and I'm sure he has a lot of great info on them and stuff. It should be pretty damn entertaining, even though the films themselves aren't going to be. But let's put it this way: at least none of the films are subtitled. They're way more entertaining
watching with a group.
Yeah, for sure. At least none of them are subtitled, and don't get me wrong, I love subtitled films, but for the format that we were doing on this live stream, watching a subtitled
It was
film.
so hard to watch that movie.
And doing the chat, and like I couldn't pay attention, man, to anything. I felt like my focus was just maybe I'm gonna blame it on that's why I got so drunk.
Not only that,
It was hard to focus. It
but
really was.
also, Dead or Alive is a weird, hard to follow movie to begin with.
Yeah. I mean, for the people that were watching it regularly, I mean, having the subtitle, whatever. But I was like, really? Third film? And like, but the format wasn't set up for the way we were doing it, so.
Oh, yeah, obviously.
It was just something to kind of complain about.
We don't know for sure if it's going to be the Silent Night, Deadly Night films, but...
No, it's just a hunch.
They are confirmed Christmas themed, right?
Yeah.
Christmas themed franchise.
They did say all part of the same franchise, and I think that's pretty self-explanatory considering
it can't be anything else. There's no other Christmas themed franchise.
Not with that many sequels, no.
Yeah. Unless he means he for sure said all of the same franchise, or they're all sequels.
All the same franchise.
I think it's all the same franchise. Yeah.
So then, it's pretty much, it has to be Silent Night, Deadly Night. There's nothing else that could be.
But man, part 3, having to sit through that shit, it's so fucking boring.
But it makes it better with Joe Bob. I'm telling you, it's going to be awesome. We'll be doing that. And
Joe Bob dropped an F-bomb. Never heard that before.
Yeah, now I can. And also, hopefully,
really, right? That's pretty funny.
Hopefully this is permanent. Hopefully after the Christmas one, we see a monthly or even bi-monthly or even quarterly. I don't care. Hopefully we see more of these every so often. I actually like the format. I almost like the format better than weekly because it's like it's more of an event. Yeah,
for sure.
And 4 movies is perfect. I wouldn't go another 24. That's just ridiculous. But 4 movies is absolutely perfect.
From dusk till dawn to dusk again.
Yeah.
I was actually quite amazed at how long his segments were, and the fact that the fact that he had like a format, he had guests on there. He's got this hot male lady. Like, it was cool, man. Like, I mean, it was the first time I've ever really got to witness that, and I was really impressed with the arrangement of the whole show.
And if you want
it was entertaining.
If you want to pull your pud to that male lady, you can.
She is a porn star. She is a porn star.
Yep.
But yeah, having Michael Berryman.
I think was a porn star.
That was really cool, man.
Michael Berryman was awesome on there.
Yeah.
And I seen that Felissa is like launching a campaign to get her own Shudder show.
I don't want to watch that shit. Just give her Joe Bob.
Not necessarily the same format, but why not? Why not have more original content? There's all kind of stuff that you can do. I love the core that they did on there. That was awesome. I don't think it did that good of numbers, but it's a great show. So maybe.
Yeah. All oiled up and shit.
Either way, Moodz was way drunk and it was funny.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, we got 7.5 hours.
It was a success all around. It was a success for the entertainment from Joe Bob. It was a success for our listeners and viewers who were entertained. It was a success for the Patreon. Got a bunch of new members, and it was just a success all around. It wasn't a great success on my sleep schedule, but that's here and there.
I don't think any of these things are going to be. They do run pretty late. For 4 films, I mean, damn, dude, it's like 10 hours.
Well, they're 2 hours each because he's talking
2.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Actually, dude, one thing I'll tell you, though, I know we didn't talk much about the movie. I really liked Hills Have Eyes watching it. It's back in my, like, good graces. Like, I love Hills Have Eyes again.
Booby traps.
Booby trap.
Yeah, it was cool.
Hills Have Eyes is a great movie.
It is. It's fun.
Especially that damn backstory to how Wes Craven got inspired by it.
Yeah, it's pretty. That's what you gotta love about Joe Bob, man.
Yeah, they do talk. They actually do talk about that in the Arrow behind the scenes. I remember checking that out, but Joe Bob did it pretty.
Yeah, I'm pretty
cool.
I'm pretty sure I watched that too.
I would like them to do Eaten Alive. That would have been cool.
What about Brain Dead or Dead Alive?
Dude, there's so many movies that I want him to talk about. It's like, he would be such a good podcaster, which I believe he commented on.
Yeah, he did. And bloggers.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he made some great points about how... Man, he made some great points, dude. I want to rewatch the whole thing again. I still need to watch some parts from the last one that I missed. Because Lacey Lou took over our show.
all these drunk bastards on the show, man.
Well, dude, she was bad though. She was almost as drunk as you.
I think I clicked on to the videos when she was on a couple times.
And that was the least thing you wanted after like 23 and a half hours into the marathon.
Well, she was swell.
Well, yeah, man. I don't know. Let's move this along. Yeah, man. I had a lot of good times with that live stream, and I can't wait for the next one, man.
Had a lot of good beers too, eh?
I did. I was definitely... I was pissed off, though. I remember slamming my fucking laptop and being like, fuck this. And I got so mad. I went upstairs and ate, and I was like, that's not beer to drink. This is bullshit. I was angry at that moment. So I won't lie, but it won't happen again. We'll figure it out. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. It can't happen twice in a row. That's just ridiculous. Right?
I wouldn't say that.
Live and learn. Nothing happens to me twice. Come on. Except for losing at everything. Lose at everything, but yeah. But anyways, let's move this along. Let's get into some news, JP.
We'll do it live. Okay. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Yo, we got some news this week. Not really. There's not much. This was a quiet week in terms of news, homies. A very quiet week. Where should we start? Okay, so this one, this is coming courtesy of Scorpion Releasing. Get ready for some South African horror, action-packed when Scorpion Releasing brings you Panga, aka Curse 3 on Blu-ray, starring the legendary Sir Christopher Lee. This will be available on sale at Ronin. What the hell is this? This isn't the Curse 3 from, like,
yes,
Scream Factory, is it?
Yes.
The same movie?
They released Curse 2.
Yeah,
they released Curse 3 and 4.
No, they didn't. They released House 2. No, Scream Factory.
They released Curse 1 and 2 in a double feature, and that's it.
No, they released Curse 3 and 4 as well.
No, they didn't. Are you thinking about Arrow and House?
No, I know House, dude. I've seen House a million times.
You're wrong.
Hold on. Are you sure?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, man.
How sure? You want to bet money on it?
Well, as sure as that I don't own them, and that's weird. So... Yeah, Curse 3, man, I don't even believe Curse 3 and 4...
It has a release.
Yeah, I don't think 3 and 4 ever had DVD releases, or obviously Blu-ray releases. I'm pretty sure they're VHS only. I've seen them back in the day, rented them. I don't really remember them. But I was a little bit shocked by this announcement, Scorpion.
That's so weird.
Curse
That's
3,
weird, huh?
just kind of out of left field, but... Hey, man, I'll take it. It probably has, I think, from what I remember, a quick cameo from Christopher Lee in it.
A whole 4 seconds.
Here's what it was.
It was top build on here. Maybe he isn't a film. I just don't remember. It's been so long. 91 it came out. Fuck. It's a 90s film.
It was Curse 4 that they released. That's what it was.
Really?
Yeah.
The hell are you talking about, man? They released the horror show.
No, Curse 4. Curse 4 was Catacombs.
Oh, yeah, the alternate. That's right. Yeah, Catacombs. Okay.
And Cellar Dweller was Curse 3, I believe.
The alternate names for those, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really think a lot of people knew those films as Curse films.
Well, I just remember because somebody said in the comments once, like, oh, shoot, all 4 Curse films, or you guys released all 4 Curse films now after this announcement. Yeah. So I was pretty much right.
As far as I know, I think these other ones are more the real sequels.
Well, yeah, this one. Is there a real Curse 4? Or wait, is it the Dungeon Master? One of those two are...
No. Catacombs is Curse 4. Is the alternate name for Catacombs is Curse 4.
Okay, but which is there in one of them was the alternate for Curse 3 as well. I don't know.
It's almost as confusing as the Demons franchise.
Demons and La Casa.
And La
Those
Casa.
are two.
Yeah.
Those are two freaking crazy ones. Because isn't one of the curses even in La Casa?
Crossover. That's ridiculous.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, as far as I remember, I don't remember. It looks like Christopher Lee might have more of a role in this film, but fuck, who knows, man. Anyway, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's something, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, buddy.
It's South African? Is that what it said? Or African? Something? What does it say?
UK / South African.
South African.
South Africa.
Yeah.
What the hell?
What about the North African?
It's probably a UK production shot in South Africa.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy, man.
Where's the North African movies?
I don't think there is a lot. Horror films?
I don't think there is a North Africa, bro.
Well, there
Africa's
is.
gigantic.
There is. Everything above South Africa is
Yeah, but it's not a country.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I know. But how many horror films have come from the various African countries? Like, when was the last time you saw one from Nigeria? And fucking
probably.
I mean, there's Egyptian films. I mean, I guess so. But
the only Israeli film I could think of is Big Bad Wolves.
there's a few South African ones. I mean, they've done a few, but no, there's a couple from Israel.
Like what?
Well, the Big Bad Wolves director also did what's the other film that they did?
I don't know.
Oh, fuck, what's it called? Brain isn't working, but anyways, the other movie which totally is slipping. It's in my mouth somewhere.
And it's in Hebrew?
No. Yes, it is, actually.
Yeah.
And it's fucking good. Why can't I think of the title name? It's driving me. Oh, this is going to bug me.
Rabies, Children
Yeah,
of Fall,
Rabies.
Cannon Fodder, Freak Out, Jerusalem,
Rabies.
Demon. Those are all. Looks like there's about 8 or so.
Yeah.
I think
Israeli.
Golem is Israeli or Egyptian.
Yeah, Rabies, man. That was, I think, their first film that they did, and then they did Big Bad Wolves. Rabies was fucking awesome, man. Really good film. I know it was even on Netflix for a long time. But good film, though.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of cool to see, like, you know, a country that's only made like 5 horror films, like, to see what they did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of cool. I think Joe Bob was talking about that too, right? Like, Toby Hooper's Djinn is like the first film filmed in wherever, right?
Yep.
All right. After that, it's really weak this week, guys. Director John Hames teases completely different tune to his Maniac Cop remake, which, by the way, this thing is in complete development hell. Apparently,
It's been like 5 years. We've been talking about it.
They announced it. They put a poster out and everything. It looked kind of cool. It was shortly after the Maniac remake.
Yeah.
So 4 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was, you know, announced. And I think Lustig says that he owns the rights or something. It was like something crazy. Okay, so he was chatting with the Movie Crypt, aka Adam Green and Joe Lynch's podcast. And he said, it will be completely different thing tonally. I think that's why I was hired. I think the reason why Nick was interested in me was because he saw what I had done with Universal Soldier, in the sense that I took it and made it my own and went completely off the reservation with it. Nick Reffin loves exploitation cinema as much as the next guy, but he also is not interested in paying homage to things. He loves Maniac Cop. He loves the idea of it. He loves everything it represents, but he has no intention of making a tribute story. We've spent several years now developing this thing, and what we're trying to do is make something that we're taking the idea of Maniac Cop and exploring it in a deep way. Our hope is that this is something that people who are fans of the original will find pleasure in what we're doing, because if you're into the genre of storytelling, you're going to be into it. But I also think we're telling a story about something bigger than that, which is really the breakdown of society. It's a big story that needed a large canvas. The remake is supposed to be set in present day, following a determined LA officer
It's not present day
sets
anymore.
out to reveal the truth of rumors and people by one of his fellow cops. I mean, to me, it just like the idea of Maniac Cop in a nutshell is that there is a bad policeman who is killing people, which is, you could do anything with that. It's probably completely different. We haven't really talked about Maniac Cop on this show at all. Like, even in passing, our talk of Maniac Cop hasn't really existed. That'd be a good trilogy to do one day, maybe. I really like the first one,
I like the second one.
but I like the second one more. I love what originally was supposed to be the second one, where Joe Spinell's character from Maniac was supposed to be the weirdo that the Maniac Cop befriends. That would have been cool, right?
Yeah,
but Joe
exactly.
Spinell died. That would have been really neat, man. Let's get an Elijah Wood team up. Let's do it now.
So Nick Rep, like he's only producing this film. He's not stepping behind he's not directing this.
Yeah, who is that? Do you know who that is?
Yeah, man, he's the guy that directed Drive.
Yeah.
Only God Forgives. He did
Neon Demon
Yeah, I think
Neon
he's
Demon.
just.
the Pusher trilogy.
and Valhalla Rising.
Oh, dude, I love Neon
The
Demon.
Pusher films are all fucking fantastic. He's a great director, man.
Yeah.
I personally love his films, but I would love to see like a Maniac Cop film with his. I mean, even though he's producing, I'm sure he's going to have a little bit of input, maybe to the visuals behind it. Because if you watch Drive, Only God Forgives.
I
is
love Drive.
very fucking
Drive's
vibrant.
fucking awesome.
And I know Only God Forgives took a lot of shit. I think it's also because the way he kind of talks about that film. He talks about it being like a masterpiece and all that type of shit, and kind of get shit on for that a little bit. But I personally love it. But that aesthetic would be fantastic for something like Maniac Cop to put on. But yeah, I haven't seen that Valhalla Rising. It's one of the
Very
films
good.
I haven't seen.
IFC released it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I found? Did maybe you guys will know. I saw this posted the other day. Did Spectre Vision produce Mandy?
I don't know.
Elijah Wood's crew?
I believe so.
Dude, they've been killing it with
Don't
like the
quote me.
cult titles.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah.
Let me look at the back.
I haven't watched it yet, but it's coming to Shudder in a couple days, so I'm going to check it out then.
Elijah Wood has a pretty good.
Yeah, it does. He's a producer. So.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's
so-
got a good eye for the films, man. I kind of like him, man. I hope he keeps doing more shit like this.
Okay, so look, I mean, this is Spectre Vision. Spectre Vision is literally like the cult film of the year usually. Like Toad Road back in 2012. 2014 had A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. Then 2016, The Greasy Strangler, and now Mandy.
Yeah, and those are all movies I like.
Yeah,
Toad Road grew on me. Remember the first time I watched it, I wasn't the hugest fan, but
but it's just interesting that they keep putting out like these weird movies that get like kind of a cult following. Like because remember that I don't know anything about Mandy, but I kept seeing that cheddar goblin thing everywhere. Is that in the movie?
it's not even part of it. It's actually a commercial that is playing on a TV in the film,
Yeah.
and that's where it comes from. But it's
Yeah, so it became a life of its own, just like the bullshit artist from Crazy Strangler. Like you kept seeing those memes everywhere.
yeah.
They also did The Boy from 2015. I don't.
Just getting a sequel.
Which
No,
boy?
no, that's a different boy. I think.
Which
Oh,
boy?
you're talking about the Scream Factory boy?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was a good movie. I like that one.
Yeah, but I like what they're doing. Spectre Vision's pretty interesting. I try to keep up with them whenever they put out stuff.
Yeah, they're doing big things, man.
Yeah.
Where the hell's Astron 7? Damn it.
I don't know. Where are they?
Astron 6, sorry.
That's awesome. Astron 7. Yeah, where the fuck is Astron 7? I don't know. I've heard of Astron.
Because the guy's
I've heard
the
of
guy's
Astron
direct-
6.
The guy's directing the Leprechaun film, so
Wait, really? That's him?
Well, a couple of
he's
guys.
directing a new Leprechaun film.
Yeah.
It's already directed.
Well, he directed the new Leprechaun film. Thanks, you asshole. I know.
I can't wait for that fucker. I'm excited.
You know.
Let's see, what else kind of news do we have here? About this. Severin Films is bringing Ted Raimi starring Skinner to Blu-ray.
Who's in Blood Rage?
Did this come out already?
Skinner,
He's
no,
the
it was a Black Friday announcement from Severin.
So it's just the announcement. They didn't put it up for sale.
No,
Yeah, they did on Black Friday.
Yeah, it's up for sale.
Oh, okay. So that's out. That's announced and out. No waiting necessary.
Yep.
That's kind of an interesting one. That's from the 90s.
Yeah, I think it's from 90.
Is it any good, Moodz?
It's okay. It's okay. I think Skinner, I was trying to remember, but I believe when Skinner first came out on DVD, it was like one of those very first gen DVDs from like 97 that came in like one of those jewel cases. Yeah. It's kind of weird. I just have it on VHS, but it's like that's how old the DVD release of it is. It's been out of print forever. I do remember that it has Ted Raimi in it, and
Who's
it's
also in Blood Rage.
yes, and it actually has Tracy Lords, and that
Nicole
chick,
Rich.
and the chick that used to have that talk show, Ricky Lake.
Ricky
Isn't it?
Lake.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting.
Ricky
cast.
Lake. Was it fat Ricky Lake or thin Ricky Lake?
I'm pretty sure she's fat in this.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's
man.
old
I think it's
Ricky
fat Ricky Lake. Yeah. So
I like Ricky Lake. I'm not gonna lie. I used to watch her talk show when I was a kid.
Me
with my
too.
gram.
yeah, she's
That was shot here.
All right. After that, they announced Halloween, the Blu-ray, coming out January 15th. So just right
And
after.
4K, you asshole.
Yeah, and 4K. Biggest thing about that, it's available for digital on December 28th, because they want to get it out for the top 10 list. But like anybody hasn't seen it already. But I guess what the exciting thing that it has is deleted and extended scenes.
Yep.
A couple of them.
And I watched one that's on YouTube and it sucks. I'm happy they
Okay.
cut it out.
Yeah. After that, this is the oh wait, two more pieces. So the Madman director or producer of the original 1981 slasher Madman. See, 81. They say 81. Said that he is writing a remake
Of the same movie.
of Madman.
It's kind of stupid.
I think it's read on IMDb as 81 also. I'm pretty
Who
sure.
remakes their own movie?
Yeah, but people were arguing that it was 82 when we were doing the 82 show.
Yeah, I know.
Because it came out like December 29th of 81.
Either way, who remakes their own movie?
Didn't that guy from...
Yeah, the lift and elevator, but
And then didn't that guy from... Did the guy who did Funny Games do his own version?
Yes, I was just gonna say that. Funny Games guy
Yeah.
remade his own movie.
Who else remade their own movie?
Yeah, Dick Moss, of course, with the
Dick
lift.
Moss.
Yeah, we know Dick Moss.
Oh, it's been done a few times.
Who?
I wouldn't
Oh,
mind
who-
seeing an updated version of Madman. Why
Yeah,
not?
it's pretty good.
They got to
It was-
keep the song though, right?
You got to keep the song, and it'd be cool to kind of keep the same aesthetic look to it, because Madman is known for having that like really unique blue hue to the look of the film.
I've only
Did
seen it
you-
once. So.
See, this is something that Shudder should produce.
Shit, why not?
Because they're starting to get into their originals now, but it's mostly contemporary stuff, like just like not like 80s slasher style things or anything. Well, they're doing their exclusives, but I think they're starting to produce some original content now too.
Mm-hmm.
this, maybe they could do something like this. I don't know. He goes on to talk about it, but it's nothing super interesting. But that's just something that,
More remake talk, right?
I mean, I actually, you know what? I would like a sequel to Madman.
A sequel? That's not a sequel. It's a remake.
I know, but I'm saying I would like a sequel instead.
Would you rather have the sequel or the remake?
I think it's a little bit too late for a sequel.
It is too late, but here's the thing. It's not like Madman is a high selling point, right? Who the fuck has ever seen Madman?
A lot of people now.
Like us, but like in the mainstream.
Who the fuck has seen Nightmare
Exactly.
City?
That was our argument, remember?
Well, Moodz thinks it's a good idea, so.
$1 million.
But I'm saying, like, do you think that Madman... Do you think Madman 2 would sell, at least to horror fans, but Madman the remake, would anybody in the mainstream be like, oh, dude, they remade Madman?
No.
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
I don't think.
I don't know.
Let it be.
Again, coming back to the conversation we had, even if they did a remake of, I mean, how many people went and seen Maniac or saw Maniac that didn't know it was a remake?
Nobody.
Probably a lot of people.
I don't think that thing did that well, did it?
I mean, on DVD, it probably did okay.
I don't know. I'm assuming probably people watched the film not knowing it was a remake.
Yeah,
I mean,
most people. Yeah, Maniac probably wasn't sold on the fact that it was a remake.
No,
it was probably sold based on the fact that it was Elijah Wood.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, with a title like Madman, I mean, it doesn't have to be marketed as a remake. It's Madman 2019.
Yeah, I'm just saying, Matt, it's not going to help it that much.
I mean, horror's doing pretty well in the mainstream right now. Madman's kind of
here he goes. He's going to say it's a good idea.
But it kind of is. The name alone is catchy enough that I think
the name alone sounds like something you'd find in a red box that was produced by Full Moon.
Yeah.
Okay. If I saw something that was playing at the cinema called Madman, I would instantly go and see that shit.
Oh, give him $1 million. Man.
You would. I know you would. I'm not saying you though. We're talking the general audience.
I don't think for the general audience though, man. Who does? Who can?
Studios?
Who can but they don't. Studios are fucking morons.
We can speculate. That's kind of.
But that's what it all is speculation. That's exactly what the studios are doing too. They're just speculating.
Yeah, but we speculate pretty well. I mean, our box office Brawl numbers speak for themselves.
Honestly, I mean,
well, not mine.
I mean, horror movies for the most part are doing well theatrically right now, with the exception of Overlord didn't do very well.
This ain't gonna be a theatrical release.
I'm just saying if they did put it theatrical, right? Who knows? I mean, slasher film. I don't know. It might do okay. But yeah, it's so fucking hard to predict though. I mean, you guys had Overlord making a lot of money, right? And it didn't do well. I don't
think we didn't have it that much.
Too much. Who can really predict that shit? I mean,
we do a pretty good job. I mean, we do better than the people who get paid to do it. I look at what other people predict afterwards. We're not that bad.
Yeah, I know we actually are a little bit better than I give us credit for.
Yeah,
but.
Like, we've been spot on at least 4 or 5 times. Like, spot on to the 100.
But also been way off, too.
Yeah,
like,
pretty close.
Like, I was giving Halloween credit.
Off.
I've been giving Halloween credit, giving it $50 million, and it fucking makes, like, $80 million. Like, dude, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but we're also playing a game, too, and we're playing it safe sometimes and trying not to
I thought 50 was pretty safe, man. I mean, there was a lot of fucking people that went and seen Halloween just because, hey, it was Halloween. They didn't even know it was fucking, a Halloween sequel. It's really fucking bizarre.
I think a lot of people definitely, once they saw Jamie Lee, they were like, oh, Jamie Lee, Halloween sequel.
I think they would have seen it anyway, even if she wasn't.
Well, it's Halloween, man.
Yeah, and it's Blumhouse.
And horror is hot right now. You think back to when, like, Rob Zombie's Halloween came out, horror really wasn't that hot.
Yeah.
Still made some good money, but, like, now... Like, arguably, Rob Zombie's Halloween was a better movie, hands down. But this one made so much more money because horror is so hot right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's funny, Joe Bob saying that he likes the Hills Have Eyes remake better than the original.
I know. I thought that was cool because I do too.
Yeah, me too.
I give them props because sometimes like people in that era are stuck in their ways.
I think I'm okay. I'm not even gonna say anything then. Just
What?
gonna get fucking. You guys are just gonna fucking try and destroy me. But I really
No,
don't.
what?
I get the appeal why people like the remake more, and I'm not against. I like remakes more. There's
Wait,
some
so you
remakes that I
don't like the remake more?
No, I actually like the original one more.
That actually surprised me. I thought you were one of the people that liked the remake more.
I love the remake. I think it's great, but it's definitely one of the better.
They're both
remakes.
great movies. They're very on par with each other. They both have cool things about them. Like the original's like way more gritty and realistic feeling. The remake is way more like
French,
over the top and blood-soaked.
It has its. They both have their pros and cons.
They're exactly what you want out of a remake and original, right? Like you got your classic original and you got your remake that's amped up a little bit. Both have cool points to them. It's literally the perfect remake whenever you're talking like the Blob. I love the original Blob, and the remake Blob is awesome too.
Yeah.
And like The Fly, like those are good examples too, because but they both have enough different about them, but they're cool in their own ways. Like the original Fly is pretty awesome, but not in the way that the Cronenberg is.
Yeah, because Cronenberg, it's different. It's a lot different. Special effects.
It's the practical effects. Yeah.
Hey,
it's
Maniac's
special
another good example, right? Two completely different movies, yet still have a lot of the same subject matter. Both amazing. That's what you want.
And those are all some of my favorite remakes right there.
I just listed them all off.
I really did. Like those are the ones that I prefer over the originals and stuff. I think the Hills Have Eyes remake is awesome.
It's one of the best.
Just the way I look at it though, like if I went to go pick a movie to watch and I had them side by side, I'd probably watch the original one first.
We should do a remake versus OG Last House on the Left. I think that would be kind of fun.
Oh fuck! That
fucking has Aaron Paul in it, bro. Before he was famous.
See that? Yeah, that remake is always. Man, there's a lot of fans of that movie out there. I've been noticing.
I like the remake more than the original. Most of it.
My biggest problem with the remake of that film is it's so fucking dumb. It's that cliche Hollywood dumbed down bullshit.
But it's not though, dude. That rape scene is intense.
Not the rape scene. I'm talking about the outcome. I mean, in the original film, it's so bleak because when you have your main characters, like your girls, die, that's a fucking bleak feeling. It leaves you so empty while you're watching it. This in the remake.
Yeah, but why do it the exact same way though?
But it's
know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm not saying you have to, but I think that's what really works for the original film. Has a lot of issues.
See, look, this would be a good conversation. Somebody Patreon, Last House on the Left versus the remake.
And you could do it for $30 at patreon.com/22shotspodcast.
Yep.
And the microwave
Somebody asked
scene,
me about doing a
microwave scene
remake versus OG. Yeah, that's stupid. I agree with
that.
you.
Is fucking stupid.
But also, what is stupid is the shaving cream booby trap in the original. So
yeah, that is fucking stupid. Yeah,
dude, what if what? I think from now on we should elevate the remake versus OG. Do the reviews, but talk about each key thing and compare them. Like, what does this one do better with gore? What does this one do better with acting? Like, you know what I mean? Like, let's step it up a notch with the remake versus OG and turn it into a real, debate on the two films, like a battle. So instead of just reviewing them.
Yeah, I mean, point out the pros and cons.
Yeah, and, directly compare scenes if there's similar scenes. Like let's look at this rape scene versus this rape scene. Which one worked better and why?
Which rape scene was more? Which was better?
Was more fucked up.
Yeah, which is a better rape scene. I like that.
All right, the final bit of news here. Some good news, in my opinion. We have man. I love when Artsploitation is on their kick. Artsploitation Films announces another film for the end of the year here, coming out December 11th, just in time for the holidays. We have Reinhard Kjell's Nordic slasher Christmas Blood to be released December 11th. Christmas Blood is the film. Coming out December 11th. It actually, just looking at the screenshots, actually looks pretty cool, man. Got a Santa with an axe.
Dude,
this is classic.
As soon as I read the title, I was like, aha, of course. It kind of made me laugh. Yep. But then I saw where it was coming from. from Norway. I was like, oh, this could be fucking pimping.
Yeah.
So I'm like a Nordic slasher. I'm like, oh,
That's Christmas themed.
Christmas themed. I'm like, this is giddy up.
Here's what it says: horror Santa slasher tales mixes with Scandinavian noir in this Norwegian filmmaker's grisly Christmas blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds gnarly.
I don't know about you guys, but I am it's only November 25th, but I am starting to get in the mood for some Christmas horror. I'm feeling it.
It doesn't matter to me.
I went pretty hard last year with Christmas horror, but dude, why doesn't it matter to you? Because you're Jewish?
Yeah, where's the fucking Jewish theme movies?
So I'm not Christian. Does that not mean that I can't love some Christian Christmas horror? Huh?
It's true. It's true.
I'm not religious at all. I am no religion. So why can't I enjoy some Christmas horror just because I'm not Christian?
Okay.
He's an atheist Mexican. Come on.
So that's coming out. And I'm pretty excited on that. It looks pretty cool, man. They put out a Christmas horror film last year set in Australia. This one seems to have a little bit more Christmas vibe.
They've been
coming the one that we did a few years. Isn't the one that we did last year in the same country?
Rare Exports?
Yeah.
Was it Norwegian?
No, that's a Finnish film.
Finnish.
Same fucking thing.
Well, same area, but I wouldn't say that.
Norway and Sweden, Iceland and Finland and Germany now in one piece.
I actually ordered a film today, but after Jeremy sent me the link to Epic Pictures for the sale. Yeah. I didn't realize they were the ones that had put out Lasso, because I actually just watched Lasso the other day, and I was like, does this movie have a fucking release?
Lasso?
Yeah, he sends me this link for Epic Pictures sale. I'm like, oh, that's who put out Lasso. Okay,
Is it a Christmas horror?
Lasso? No. But that's where I'm getting to. Anyways, and I knew about this film because I saw someone post a link or whatever to Sleigh Bells, and they're releasing this film called Sleigh Bells, so I had to pick that up. So anything Christmas horror related, I always have to grab. But thank you, Jeremy, for sending that link, because it made me realize who had put out Lasso and Sleigh Bells. So good shit. 50% off sale.
And that is the news.
Alrighty. Cool.
Fucking thing sucks!
Oh, yeah. JP, do we got a voicemail this week?
Yes, we have one voicemail. Ready?
Okay.
Get
No, I'm not ready.
It's kind of loud. Try to hold it away.
Oh, wait, I'm not ready. Okay, I'm ready.
Oh, turn it down.
Oh, Jesus. Jesus, stop. Jesus, I can't stop it. It won't stop. Oh, fuck.
That's blowing my head off.
I'd like an answer for both. So,
Wait, what's the
I
question?
just want to ask kind of an interesting question to see
Oh,
what you come
shit.
up with. Anyway.
All right, starting over.
Again, just got a quick question for you.
I can't hear you. I have a ringing in my
Horror
ear.
film, villain, and hero do you
Oh,
relate
and
to
hero.
the most? I'd like an answer for both. So, I just want to ask kind of an interesting question to see what you come up with. Anyway, have a great night.
How does he know we're recording at night? Is he spying on us?
I would assume so. You know what? I didn't catch any of that because my ears were ringing to death. That was loud. Did you have that thing on like minus 10 volume and it was still that loud?
I did turn it down slightly and pulled it away from the mic. I don't know why it came in so loud. They normally don't come in that loud.
Anyways, if you could you like refresh us on the
I think he said favorite villain or something.
That's not what he said. Which horror villain and hero do you identify with the most?
Horror villain do I identify with them? Oh, okay.
Horror villain and hero.
Do they have to be in the same movie?
No.
I don't know.
Hero or villain would probably be easiest, I would think.
All right, somebody go.
Villain wise, who do I identify with the most? That's like kind of an interesting question, right? Because it's like no matter who you pick, you're gonna look like a psychopath.
Yeah.
I would say the guy in Angst. There you go.
That's
what
you.
I'm saying.
You're fucking crazy, dude.
But we
You
already
need
know
to
I'm
get
crazy.
some help.
We already know I'm crazy.
Jesus Christ. It's like you just picked the devil, essentially.
It's
do you
kind of
identify with
it's
the
kind of
most? The
ironic
devil.
that it's a fucking German too.
And
I don't know,
Leatherface isn't a fucking.
Villain. I don't know what like identify with. Like, does that mean that you're like them, or does that mean that you understand them? Which
I don't really know how to approach it. Like, I don't consider I have a hard time identifying.
I mean,
with
I
any
identify
villains.
with Norman Bates the best because I could
That's a
totally
good
see where he's coming from.
That was going to be my answer for Jeremy. Doesn't that make
I could see that.
doesn't that make more sense though?
Yeah, I guess it does. You know me, when I'm put on the spot, I just say something stupid.
In
like
terms
usual.
of hero, I'm gonna say like
the guy from Deathgasm.
that's actually maybe like one of the Frog Brothers or something, kind of like their style,
Or the people in Super Dark Times.
or like Full from People Under the Stairs, man. I feel that kid.
Moodz.
I always felt like I was hit like him. When I was a kid.
Man, this is something I've absolutely never thought about before. I have a hard time identifying with villains because I don't consider myself to have. Well, I'm Canadian. I don't have any bad bones in my body, right? I apologize for everything.
Besides when you get drunk.
I didn't apologize over and over again there. I bet you I did. If you go back, I probably said sorry a few times because, it's the...
No, you just exited off before you said anything.
Horror villain. Does Jack Torrance count as a villain? Yes, I guess.
Yes, of course. What do you mean? Does he count as a villain? He's clearly a villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
crazy
probably not the ideal, but yeah, he's definitely a villain.
I always align myself with Tommy Jarvis from Part 6 and Corey. Oh nope, Corey Feldman's Tommy Jarvis. That was me as a kid.
Yeah, I guess Torrance's character just kind of makes sense to me. As a hero, fuck, dude, I don't know, man.
You're Jamie Lloyd.
I'm gonna go pretty cliche and say Ash.
Ash.
Yeah.
I guess that's pretty.
I don't know.
Makes sense.
That's like saying like, hey, who
Well,
if you were gonna be like one, like you're basically saying you're Tom Brady.
How
Like,
so?
Because Ash is like the hero. He's like the guy, the best.
I don't consider Tom Brady to be a hero. I consider Tom Brady
No,
to be a
not
cheater.
the hero. I'm saying like, if you were gonna say like, hey, Moodz, what does your football skills compare to the most? And you'd be like, Tom Brady, of course.
Oh, so you're saying that Ash is like he's the highest of plateau.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the
On the
highest.
He's
hero
Mount Rushmore.
on the hero spectrum, he's like he's on the Mount Rushmore. So
Yeah,
if you had to
fucking
make
Ash.
if you had to make a horror hero Mount Rushmore, who would the other three faces fill out the mountain? So if you got Ash,
Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode.
fuck that, man. She lost all of her street cred turning into Rambo.
Even more. Didn't Ash turn into Rambo? Come on.
Yeah, but it's more realistic
Why
though. He's
can't
a dude.
why can't a woman turn into Rambo?
I'm not saying they can't, but it's
That's
probably
exactly-
more realistic if someone like Ash does. But anyways, okay.
Why?
so-
Ash was a pussy in Evil Dead 1. He didn't even do anything.
he tried.
Next thing
Got
you
a
know,
point.
he's chopping off his arm and fucking shooting chainsaws.
He tried, man. He did what he could. Come on.
No, realistically, a horror hero Mount Rushmore, I think you have to include or Donald Pleasance, I guess.
Yeah.
Donald Pleasance.
Yeah, as Dr. Loomis.
Yeah, Dr.
Like Ash is definitely there without a doubt. Ripley. No? Okay, give me better options then. Because feel like you guys aren't really giving much. You're just saying no to all mine.
Well, I'm really trying to think about it. Like,
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I can think of heroes, but I'm trying to think of like ones that you could place on that type of plateau, which is pretty extreme. I mean,
We're in agreement. Ash is the one.
Yeah, I see. Now, to compare with Ash,
I think you gotta go Ripley, dude.
Ripley's not bad. Ripley's not bad because she's definitely probably one of the. I mean, it's a very politically correct world that we live in now.
Let's just list them off, right? You got Nancy, no.
Mm-hmm.
You got Sidney Prescott, probably not. Although I am a fan of Sidney Prescott.
How about Ashley Lawrence?
Andy Barkley, no. Ashley Lawrence, hell no.
No, see, that's what, like, I'm running through those names too, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
Any of the Friday girls, Alice.
How about Roy Schneider?
Tommy Jarvis, no. Maybe Tommy's kind of close there, but no.
Not Roy Schneider.
Maybe like
No, nobody.
Van Helsing, but who? So many different people played him. Roy Scheider, no. I'm saying like your strongest so far is Ash, Ripley, and either Donald Pleasance, who isn't very heroic in a way. He's not really the hero of the movie that much. More so Jamie Lee Curtis is. But who else is there, man? I mean, really think about it.
I know, it's actually a hard question.
That's why I'm saying that.
How about Charles Bronson?
He's not in enough horror.
What about Death Wish, bro?
Not horror enough.
Oh man, come on,
man. Do anti-heroes count? Anti-heroes count? I mean, Vigilantes is not exactly your typical hero.
Like,
I mean, it depends who you're. It depends on who.
Yeah, Burt Gummer. There you go.
Gummer should be on there.
You got Alice from Resident Evil.
Fuck that bitch.
Ash is definitely one of the best. Laurie Strode, like I said, man. Who else? Billy Peltzer from Gremlins. Bert.
About what's his name? Adam West.
What did he hero in?
Not Adam West. Herbert West.
He's not the hero.
He's a villain, man.
What about Richie Tozier? You know how much you love Richie Tozier. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard, right? Like, I feel like you have to go with Final Girls.
Yeah.
Mainly.
I know, like, I was kind of leaning towards that way, too.
Huh.
It's crazy that, like, most of the
thing
memorable ones are.
Yeah. But
Right?
one thing remains the same, though, is Ash stands out above everybody as, like, the hero.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's, like, the only easy choice. Everybody else is debatable. I think Ripley and Jamie Lee Curtis. I think those are the other two.
You know what, man? I'm putting fucking Reggie on there, man. Reggie fucking Bannister.
Damn, Reggie is pretty badass, but is he known enough?
I don't know,
Not
man.
really.
But he's he's kind of a hero, though, man. Like he
5 movies, man.
dude.
5
That's what I'm
movies.
saying. Like, and he's kind of badass in all of them. He's likable.
But is he
fun.
better than Tommy Jarvis?
Yeah, Tommy Jarvis is kind of a fucking mess.
Yeah. It's part 5 Tommy that fucks it up.
Yeah, see,
If he
Reggie's
was
a little
Tom
bit more.
Matthews cool the whole time.
Yeah, I agree, man. Reggie's kind of stable the whole time. Kind of has his head on straight.
But then, Andy Barkley's kind of cool, but he's a kid. And then, like, if you're going one movie, like Ben, he's kind of a cool hero from Night of the Living Dead. But that's the only thing he's done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think one movie you could say that.
Yeah, I think you need more longevity.
I think I'm going with Reggie, man.
Reggie, Ripley, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Ash.
Mount Rushmore heroes.
There you go.
That
Wasn't
was
even
not
the question.
your question, but we answered it anyway.
Yeah.
Damn. If any listeners have their own version that they and a reason why, don't just put fucking Tony Todd.
Yeah, I would
or
love to
something.
hear it. Actually, I'd actually love to hear it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's funny. The more you think about it, it's like you probably could have Ash with 3 women up there. But
Yeah.
Bannister fits though. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely an interesting conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It is. It really is.
Mm.
I can't believe you've never been asked that before.
Villain would be fucking even harder, but it's because there's so many great ones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a everlasting argument right there.
Yeah.
The most villainous villains of all time.
And that was the voicemail.
Yeah. Cool.
Cool. Draft House Films, everything is $5, including Blu-rays right now.
They
No
do that.
shit.
They do that, man. They drop their shit. It's funny because Draft House is usually pretty expensive, but when they have a sale, it's like pennies.
Yep.
That's pretty cool, man. All right, so yeah, that was the voicemail. Moving it along, and let's get into some box office brawl.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. What do we got this week, man? I heard it was some type of possession film.
Yeah, we have The Possession of Hannah Grace coming from Sony/Screen Gems,
God, it just sounds so bad. The name is just bad.
opening in 2,000 plus theaters.
Well,
Yeah.
they obviously have some high hopes for this. Opening in over 2,000 films or theaters with a title of Possession of Hannah Grace.
It didn't have
Man.
a ton of marketing, but it had a little bit towards the end there.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I'll say is it does look like fodder for mainstream. Like it looks like, oh, this is going to be scary. And I actually thought it looked good personally. Because it's about a girl who's alone in a morgue, and she gets a body that comes in, and there's something up with it. And like right away, I like stuff like that. So I was kind of interested.
What was the marketing campaign on it? The Possession of
I didn't
Hannah
really
Grace,
see much.
the best possession film since the last film with possession in the title.
No, I don't know. It was just like, scary stuff, really, like jump scare looking things.
Yeah.
So scary.
Like, those trailers are.
Where the
Yeah.
people's head like turns backwards and shit like that.
Typical possession stuff, I guess.
I've never seen it. I've never seen the trailer.
But the story, the reason why I thought it looked interesting is because the story is not typical, like, haunting bullshit, like possession bullshit. It's like actually has like a unique story. Based on what I read and seen about it.
So what
Sony's
it's
releasing
about?
it, so
It's about someone named Hannah Grace who is in a morgue, like dead in a morgue.
Do they bring either? Yeah, I think that they bring in a body of Hannah Grace or something, and then like the mortician chick is there alone with it.
and I take it it's possessed.
Oh yeah, but when they bring it in, they say that this girl died during an unlawful exorcism or something. Like some people were trying to do an exorcism, and this girl died.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
That's kind of an interesting story, though, right? Like the body comes in, and it's like, yeah, this girl died during an exorcism.
That sounds all right. Doesn't mean that's gonna make money.
And it's the graveyard shift. So kind of a seems like a isolated horror film, like with here's what the plot is. When a cop who is just out of rehab takes the graveyard shift in a city hospital morgue, she faces a series of bizarre and violent events caused by an evil entity in one of the corpses.
3 million.
$3 million for Jam.
Oh man, it's not a bad guess because I truly don't think it's going to do well.
But who knows? It could be a sleeper hit.
I don't think so.
Possession
I
of
haven't
Hannah
seen any
Grace.
marketing.
This is big for Jeremy and Moodz.
I know that's
because if you win this Moodz, then he owes you something. But if you lose to him, then it's tied and we start over fresh in the new year. So, and then me and you are tied right now. So whoever wins this between us will be owed something.
Yeah, this is tough, man. Because if I go low and I'm gonna screw myself. This is tough, man. 3 is not a bad guess, actually. I'm gonna say 4. I gotta be in the same vicinity, man, because I don't think it's gonna do well.
The question is, who wins if it makes 3.5?
Jeez,
we would just go to the next digit. You know what I'm saying? Because I've guessed like 3.15 before, or like 3.105.
Mm-hmm.
So you said 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna do the smart thing here, and I'm gonna say 4.1.
What a fucking dick. That's a dick move, bro.
Well, where could I fit in? I wasn't gonna say 3.5.
I was going to say 3.5, and I was like, "That's a dick move."
What?
Even on my
it's not
part.
a dick move.
It is.
If it makes 3,900,000, you beat me. If it makes 3 million, you beat me. If it makes 2 million, you beat me. So basically, 4 and up, I win. 4 and under, you win.
Yeah,
And
but
I
I
just
gotta
lose.
beat Jeremy. Yeah, but I gotta beat Jeremy. But
Well,
yeah.
that's separate between you.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't matter if I beat Jeremy or not. I already beat Jeremy.
Yeah,
Thanks.
exactly.
I would actually make it to 22, so I'd win either way if I beat Jeremy. 22-12.
All right. Well, yeah. Man.
Truly, I think it's gonna make 7 million.
No way.
That's my truth.
That's what
feeling.
Overlord made. It's no way going to make more than Overlord.
7 million.
Damn. You know what? It is it is like the bad time of year for these. So yeah, you're probably right. But I was thinking that is it PG?
No, it's R.
Well, I give it credit because this is totally a movie that could have been PG. I give him credit for ballsy.
Wow.
Yep. It's R.
Yeah. Majority of these films are kind of like PG-13, aren't they?
Not this year, really, to be honest.
But there has been in the past, all right?
I mean, yeah, in the past, but
The actual tagline, if you're curious, is the most frightening thing about an exorcism is what happens next.
great. Are you gonna go see it, JP?
Yeah, I actually think this movie looks cool.
Well,
I'm actually excited to see this.
I can guarantee that I'm not getting it, so.
So this will be the end of Box Office Brawl for the year. We'll start fresh in the new year. I like the idea of making it a year-long competition. That's kind of cool.
I think I might start out pretty slow, like every year does. So I don't
And
have any
when-
box office
Oh,
brawls
dude,
for
January.
No,
January, there's
it's
a
actually
lot.
starting off pretty hot.
There's a lot.
There's
Yeah.
really in January? Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think there's like 4 or 5.
Crazy.
Yep. And also, when can I expect my copy of Land of the Dead?
Whenever it's cheap.
How
Did we already
cheap?
talk about this?
What's it at right now?
Probably $47.99.
40.
I feel like
Screen Factory
22 is cheap. When it goes down to 22.
That I
That's
actually
pretty
got that
cheap.
one for really cheap. That was a cheap.
It was
purchase.
15. It's $23.49.
Yeah, I think I only paid 20.
If it goes down to 22, because I just lost a bet and I gave a copy of Hell Knight, which was 22. I thought that was fair.
You mean you got it for free and you're gonna give it to somebody?
What?
Hell Knight.
No, I bought them Hell Knight. I don't get Scream Factories for free.
Oh, Hell Knight. I thought that's the movie that came out this year. That's Hellfest.
No, yeah, Hell Knight. I bought them the screenplay. Luis beat me in a bet, and I had to send him a copy of Hell Knight.
Yeah, Hellfest is probably like $10 on Blu-ray.
No, it's 20.
Really?
It'll end a couple months. But anyway, that is Box Office Brawl.
Creep Show still 42.
I am the devil, and I am here to do the devil's work.
They will say that I have shed innocent blood. What's blood for, if not for shedding?
I like to dissect girls. Did you know I'm utterly insane?
Have you checked the children?
What do we do?
Why don't we just wait here for a little while? See what happens.
Yeah. Getting into the dub portion of the show. That is what we watched. And this week is going to be strictly all Patreon picks, I believe. So if this is your first time tuning in, as part of the show, we review some films, give some ratings, and then pass it along. So who wants to start us off this week? Jeremy.
I'll go.
Okay, Jeremy.
Okay. Let's do Devon's Ghost, The Legend of the Bloody Boy from the year 2005.
God, that sounds amazing. It really does.
Actually, it's actually one of the better films Mikey Fisher have given me. That doesn't mean it's good. It's complete and utter ass. But on Mikey Fisher level, it's not too bad. So,
Mikey Fisher level, it's like an 8.
Yeah. This is like a mid-2005 Floating Heads inspired kind of slasher film. It feels very mid-2000s with the soundtrack and, you know, goth culture and all this other stuff that was happening in the mid-2000s. And it's follows a very similar narrative to a Floating Head slasher film where we follow this legend of the Bloody Boy, also known as Devon Anderson. And Mr. Anderson got murdered by his parents one day in this house across the street from this high school where everything's happening. And of course, one night, Bloody Devon's ghost comes back and starts to fucking pick everybody off one by one. But on top of that, we have mixed martial arts funness happening with the kills and people fucking karate chopping and shit like that along the lines. And the funny thing about this movie is that there's actually 2 ex-Power Rangers in this film. Don't know which fucking series they were in, but it's two ex-Power Rangers. So the martial arts thing makes sense and it's probably fucking written into the story. But of course, the town thinks that it is a copycat killer, where these high school students, of course, know that it's the ghost of Devon Anderson coming back to fucking kill all the ex-classmates that he was once pissed off at. It is what it is. You know, it's a Floating Heads, mid-2000s, straight-to-DVD slasher with absolutely some of the horriblest acting you'll see in a film, hands down. That's the worst part of this movie. The acting is awful beyond awful. It's horrible, absolutely horrible. But the film is made okay. Technical aspects are totally fine. They're actually out in a setting and not in front of a fucking green screen like the last couple of movies I've had to watch. So I got to give it credit like that. Technical merits are all good. The soundtrack, like I said, I grew up in the mid-2000s, so I like the soundtrack. Has that, Fall Out Boy kind of style to it. I guess that's a good analogy, I guess. But the effects are fine. They're not too badly CGI. They seem to be all practical. And it's overall what you would expect with a film titled Devon's Ghost, Legend of Bloody Boy from 2005. So I give it a 4 out of 10. It's not too bad as a Mikey Fisher film.
4 out of 10 is not good for a regular film, though.
Yeah, because they're usually
to
like in the point.
ones.
Yeah, they're usually in the 0.5 to 1 range.
Yeah, they're like 2. Karen Ashley, I guess she was in Power Rangers. She was in the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, the movie. She played the Yellow Ranger. She's in this. And the Black Ranger from the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger movie is also in this. So 2 Power Rangers. I would not recommend it, of course, but yeah, I'll be expecting to review another piece of shit movie next month. So Have fun.
JP.
All right, so first up, I'll do my Mikey Fish as well. Oh, a little disclaimer here. I actually did get a third film called Bloodletting from Dave, but I ordered a copy of it from the company that put it out, Tempe Entertainment, and it was a sealed copy, and when I got it, I opened it up and there was no disc. It's so weird.
So what are you going to do? Are you going to call him bitch at him?
I actually just posted on their Facebook page me opening it, like, hey, what's up with this?
Did they respond?
Yeah, they like immediately, and they're like, we'll ship you out another disc. Sorry. And I was like, that's pretty good for a company that's going out of business.
Oh, they're going out of business?
Yeah, I think so, aren't they?
I don't know.
Moodz?
I think they are. I think they are, actually.
Yeah, I think they're going out of business, so that's pretty good customer service for a company that shouldn't care by now. You know? So yeah, they're going to ship me the disc, which I appreciate, and I will get to it next month. So yeah, so instead I will be doing Mikey, and I messaged Davey's cool with it. Everything's good. Mikey Fisher gave me a film from 2008 called 100 Feet. And this film follows a woman who has been incarcerated for the murder of her husband, gets out of prison, goes back to her home, gets put on house arrest, and begins being haunted by said husband. So it's kind of like the story is a little bit wonky to me because she claims that he was abusive and it was in self-defense. It seems like there's some evidence to that. Like she filed like a bunch of police reports saying like, hey, he's very abusive. And she tried to escape one night, and you know, he comes at her with a knife and she kills him in self-defense. But apparently he had some like buddy cops who like kind of swept it under the rug. I don't know. It feels kind of unbelievable to me. Also, she can't leave her house, period. So she like begins to get like, she calls for a delivery boy to like bring her like food and stuff and like groceries, and she gets a job from home. And I feel like the person who made this hasn't done much research into house arrest, because you know, you can still work. You just have to be back by a certain time.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they have to have
monitored.
Yeah, no, they have to have your schedule, and then they can work around that. You have to be home within like an hour or a half an hour after your work. Yeah, I've had buddies that have been in house arrest and shit. So,
and
Of course
yeah,
you
I've literally had family.
Yeah,
this.
My buddy thought it was a good idea to try and outrun the cops on his crotch rocket. Yeah, that didn't.
He really didn't get away.
That usually goes pretty well, honestly.
Yeah, how did he not get away?
You know what happened, dude? They fucking laid out of one of those spike traps, and he hit it.
Yeah.
He fucking bailed. He was fucked up for a while too, man. It was brutal. So then they threw the book at him. They threw the book at him because he was endangering lives by running. He was fucking just being stupid.
Of course, you're gonna be screwed if you.
Get caught. He got a nice little. He was working at MTV at the time too. It's kind of funny.
Damn.
Yeah, it was fucked.
But like, and she can't go down into her bit because like she learns that if you, if like she starts researching like hauntings and stuff like that, and she finds out if you like, you know, people are saying like, hey, if you want to get rid of all the person's possessions because you know that's a piece of them. So she wants to get rid of his clothes in the basement, but she can't go down in the basement because her fucking thing starts beeping 100 feet. And I'm like, come on, it's the goddamn basement, man. It's not gonna I feel like they should have laid out the groundwork with the actual house arrest thing a little bit better in this film, because it was kind of annoying me a little bit. And I also don't understand why this dude don't just kill her, the ghost guy. So it's one of those frustrating, like it's kind of, I like the premise. Like it's a kind of a cool premise. You feel bad for the character because her husband was like piece of crap, abusive person. And again, I don't even know why she's out. Like usually when you kill someone and it's not in self-defense, you're pretty much like the book gets thrown at you. Am I right?
Usually.
So yeah, like they don't let you out on house arrest. But yeah, so it's the plot's a little bit wonky. I could see where Mikey was coming at from this one, because like maybe had this film came out a little bit earlier, it might feel more of like like if this came out in like 2001 as a direct-to-video, it would feel like more like a gem, because not much good stuff came out direct-to-video back then. It was like kind of higher budget and stuff. But because it's like there's like great movies from 2008. Like this is where the indie train was rolling at this point. So like it just feels a little bit weak. It's not terribly bad. There is actually a couple scary, like Carly like freaked at a moment that was kind of scary. The ghost dude looks good sometimes, looks really bad other times. It's not bad. I would probably give it like a 6 out of 10.
What was the name of the movie again?
100 Feet from 2008.
Oh yeah, okay. Like thinking of this shit, and I'm like, this movie sounds familiar. Yeah, I've seen it before. Fuck. I can't even remember if I liked it or not.
It has the girl on the cover crying, right?
I don't know.
I don't even.
Actually.
I'd have to see my DVD.
Yeah, I think that's it.
It's like the girl on the cover is like it's one of those. Yeah, but I don't even know if she's crying. It's like there's bloody backgrounds and stuff. It's one of those like extremely like generic looking covers from like the mid 2000s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, sticking with the Mikey Fisher theme, I actually wasn't going to do this film first, but you know, since it only makes sense to do it now. Of course, this is coming again from Mikey Fisher from 2011, the film called Trippin. No G.
I have this movie.
This one, I was surprised I didn't own because it was released by Camp Motion Pictures, and I usually pick up a lot of the releases because I like to support that company. They put out a lot of good indie stuff. So, of course, I went ahead and purchased it. I thought the DVD release was actually quite cool, man. You know, it's got the film, double disc, and it's got a whole pile of shorts and stuff from the director, which I thought was a very nice kind of added bonus to it. But anyways, Trippin' from 2011, didn't know anything about this film going into it. It has a plot that is very cliche, you know, in general spoken word. It's basically about these three couples that go out to this remote cabin to simply do some R&R. They're out there to specifically party and do drugs. That's their whole goal, is to go out there and just relax and smoke bud and do some R&R. Of course, one of the characters tells a story about a killer that something bad had happened to him out in the woods and some people went missing. You know, kind of a cliched story about a killer, and you know, he might still be out there type deal. Nevertheless, you know, they end up start dying off one by one, and that's kind of your film. It's dubbed as a stoner horror comedy from hell. It is, man. You know, it's about a bunch of cliched characters that are doing drugs. Of course, you got the guy that tells the story in this film is the biggest dickhead ever. He's just such a fucking jerk, man. It's actually kind of funny. Then, of course, you got the one girl that is totally against everything that everyone's doing here. You know, she's the uptight one that doesn't do the drugs. And then, you know, it's one of those movies where I think that if you don't get involved with the characters, you might not get involved in the whole film. I did like how the director/writer, Devi Snelly, I don't know, he's got a really weird name. He presented this film as being a very cliche film, but it doesn't take that full approach. And I really kind of shocked me. I was expecting this one to, you know, have a third act like all these type of films, blah, blah, blah. It didn't go that way. And I was like, wow, it's actually kind of unique in itself. By the end of the film, I was kind of like, man, you know, without giving too much away, but I was kind of getting this Dale and Tucker type vibe to it. Yeah, so it was kind of shocking to me. You know, it's one of those films that was kind of a little bit refreshing. I mean, the acting in the film is a little bit hit and miss. The comedy is also hit and miss at times. I mean, it's stoner comedy, it's bitchy comedy, it's asshole comedy. It's kind of got that whole blend to it. I will say though, the writing was a lot better than I was anticipating it to be. It's shot a lot better. It actually looks pretty decent for what it is. The location in the woods, you know, I like that type of shit. There's a lot of pros to the film. I just think the biggest fault for the movie, again, and I say this a lot, this one runs too long, but it has bad pacing. it takes a long time for things to finally develop, and I feel like the third act in this movie is a little bit too short, considering, you know, we're with these characters for a good 75 minutes of kind of coming and going and weird things happening and shit. And, you know, I feel like the third act is really short in this one. I think that was kind of the biggest downfall to the movie. But after I was done, even though she watched it with me and she thought it was pretty good, she's like, it's actually a lot better than I was anticipating it to be, just because, you know, the opening scenes where it's kind of goofy, you know, like they're following this truck and this dude has this super bloodied up rug, and it's like obviously supposed to be a body in there and shit, and it's just like so fucking goofy and shit. I was kind of laughing and stuff, but it's got those type of moments to it. But yeah, overall, man, I think if this one was just cut down, I probably could do like 20 minutes, get rid of a lot of that character development. I think it would be a lot better. But the biggest thing is the characters. You know, if you don't invest in them, you're probably not going to really dig the film. But there is one really cool character by the name of I think his name is Zed in the film. I think that's what his name is. But yeah, he's kind of like the main character in this one, and he's definitely the highlight of the movie. So he's actually on the cover of the film. But all in all, I enjoyed it for what it is. It's not like a fantastic movie, mind-blowing or anything, but on the indie level, I'm going to give this one a little bit of props. I'm going to go with a 6 out of 10 on this one. Mikey, like you said, I did enjoy it for what it is, but just a tad bit too long. So that's Trippin' from 2011.
Boom, boom.
All right, last up in this week's What We Watch. So when we talk about the great world cinema directors, you know, we got the Godard, we got Hitchcock, we got Fellini, we have Fassbender, Kurosawa, and we have this man, Mr. Andrei Tarkovsky from the motherland of Russia. And, you know, this guy's so influential in cinema today. He only directed 7 films, and each and every one of them has their own purpose of standing alone as really some of the greatest films ever made. I've seen all 7 of his movies. Of course, when I was in film school, he was an insanely highly influential director, one of the greatest filmmakers who ever lived, hands down. And it's really fascinating that the guy only directed 7 films, and he really stands the time. And he died in the late 80s, so he wasn't around for that long. Sorry, go ahead.
So, what? I don't know if you're getting to that point, but why did he only direct 7 films?
Because he died in 1986.
But like, he died young.
When was his first movie?
His first film was Ivan's Childhood in 1962.
Yeah.
And his last film was The Sacrifice in 1986. So between 62 and 86, he made 7 films, and you know, they're all very complex.
24 years. Yeah, that's
highly philosophical films. And they're very known for being very deep in philosophy and having that sort of film language to it, that it takes a very seasoned viewer to watch his movies and get it. This movie, now I've seen twice, but you would really have to watch it so many times to fully grasp everything that is going on in this movie. And it's called Stalker, from the year 1979. And all his movies, you know, are very long. They're like between 2.5 and 4 hours long. And this one is his most, I would say, horror-based. It's really a sci-fi drama film. It's not a horror movie whatsoever, but it has a really cool premise. It takes place in like this futuristic world, very similar to a Eraserhead kind of setting. Of course, you could tell that Lynch was very influenced by this film. It has a very similar kind of setting. So it takes place in this futuristic setting where there's this place called the Zone, and the Zone is a place where it's guarded by the government and the army, and not too many people could go there. And it's a very mysterious place, and there's these people called stalkers who are people who have traveled through this place before, and they're seasoned and they're trained of sneaking into the Zone and taking people who have a high sum of money to wherever they wanted to go into the Zone. So we follow, and by the way, none of the characters have names. They're just categorized by their profession. So we have the Stalker, who takes this writer and this professor who wants to go into the zone, seeking this place called it's like a place in the zone where it's like a room, and in this room it ultimately allows you to live your wildest dreams. And this is very highly guarded by the government and the army, because whoever goes in there, of course, could use it against other people, because basically it's heroin forever. So it's basically just the Stalker and these two people traveling through the zone, and the things that happen along their way from when they first get in, as they try to visit this room that has all these amazing things inside of it. It's very Wizard of Oz inspired too. It has that journey kind of a feel to it. With this movie, it's very interesting though. Like I said, it has long takes, but fairly influential by Japanese cinema. Tarkovsky never really moves the camera very much. He never really zooms in, or really never pans unless he really needs to, and that's a very important aspect of Japanese cinema, is the fact that, at least during this time, is that it's important to getting the shot that he needs to. So it's just a really fascinating story. It's a journey film, but it has a whole bunch of different things kind of going on. And it's very interesting because when we're outside this zone, he uses black and white cinematography. But then when he enters into the zone, it changes into a very mono color scheme. And it's very interesting to see it fluctuates between the two different places and these characters going back and forth between the two. This is an amazing film. Of course, it's a 10 out of 10, like every other film that he's made. It's one of my favorites of his film from.
What is your favorite?
This one.
I've actually never heard of this guy.
This film from 1972 called Solaris, which is really fucking good. It's another science fiction kind of a film. I think that one would be more along your level. It's like people going aboard the space station and trying to orbit this planet called Solaris, and the fact that they're stuck in this place and their interactions with each other. It's very 2001 Space Odyssey influence. Well, so it came out around the same time. Yeah, it's sci-fi.
Maybe I'll watch it just because 72 and sci-fi, whatever.
Yeah.
What year did this movie came out? What, 79? Did you say
79?
And
have you seen any of this guy's movies, Moodz?
I actually haven't. I know the director. I have not seen any of his movies. I know the Solaris movie that he's talking about. That's actually the one I do know of. I have not seen any of them. But you'd mentioned David Lynch was could have been inspired by this film. The thing is, Eraserhead came out, I believe, a couple years before that, though, like 76 or 77. And you got to remember, Eraserhead is also the production of that film started in like 70. It took like so many years to get that movie out. So
it's weird. Maybe it's the other way around.
It could be. I mean,
yeah.
I think Eraserhead was so popular in the 70s in the the midnight movie scene and shit. Who knows?
Especially the art house scene, which this guy probably frequented.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely could have been.
That was a pretty good review. Cool.
Yep,
good job.
Check it out. It's good.
All right. Next up for me is, I'm going to be brief on this one just because this is a film we're going to be doing next year for Italian Horror Month. And this was from Fan of Eli. Just wanted to get... I think he enjoyed that I was going through Argento's filmography and wanted to hear my thoughts on Sleepless. So I'll be quick with this one. Not going to get into it too much because, like I said, we're doing it in less than a year at this point. You know what I mean? Sleepless is what many people consider the last great Argento film from 2001. And it, first of all, let me just say this. This movie opens fantastically. But the opening, you got that Goblin score. You have this nude scene thing that happens, and then this girl leaves and she gets on a train and stuff. But all this whole build up is just like it very early Argento reminiscent, but still very much like new feeling. So I was like right down with this film right away, and I was like, "Oh, this is." I could see why people say it's the last good Argento film, but then it kind of slows down a bit, and that is its biggest problem. This is a very slow movie. So the plot basically follows. It's kind of told not straight like forward, but it follows a detective who is investigating a murder. Murders that are happening now. But he was also the same detective that investigated murders back in the day, back in like the 80s, known as the dwarf murders. And the main suspect of those dwarf murders had died. He was, it's called dwarf murders because the main suspect was a novelist who wrote giallo novels, and he suffered from dwarfism. And he died. So they considered it done and over with. And then flash forward to present day, and all of a sudden these similar type of murders are happening again, and they're like, yo, what's up with this? So it's up to him and then another person whose mother had been killed during the original murders, this is 17 years later, to figure out what's going on. It's like a giallo, you know. I don't know. Like I like this movie a decent amount, and I just think that the biggest problem is one. See, here's the problem. I watched it on an Artisan VHS, which I hear is cut to shit, because there really wasn't any good. There's one good gore scene in the entire film. It's like a face stabbing. So I don't really know. Like if there's an uncut version and there's more gore in it, I could totally see liking the movie a little bit more, because it would space out the pacing a little bit to where it wasn't so long paced. There's good set pieces in it. The music is good, other than there is this weird like dopey ass like Wes Craven style bumbling music that plays throughout too, and I was like, what the hell is this? So that was kind of bugging me. It just threw me off. I was like, what the hell? Because there's really good music, and then there's like this just nasty, just doesn't fit music, and that was, you know, kind of annoying me a bit. But I actually liked the reveal in this one. I didn't predict any of this. It's kind of weird with the dwarf thing, like there's like a dwarf killer. But yeah, it's actually it's a solid Argento again. I mean, it's definitely not bad. So the streak continues with all of the films that I've seen from him are solid, at least. And this one, probably better than Trauma. I don't think as good as Stendhal, though.
Anything's better than Trauma.
Well, I mean,
at this point,
I don't know if you would think it's better than Trauma. I like them about the same personally, but I think I would like to see an uncut version of this one. I know that didn't Arrow put a version of this out?
Yeah, they did on DVD.
No Blu-ray though?
No.
Okay, so no Blu-ray. Yeah, but I think the Artisan version is pretty cut, from what I understand.
Yeah.
So
the only version of this movie I've ever seen is the Artisan one. I never grabbed that Arrow DVD back in the day. It's really hard to find now. I'm not even sure if it's uncut or not, to be honest. I never really did any research on it, but I just remember this movie being boring as fuck. That's all I remember from it, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's long. It's 2 hours, man. It's 2 hours. It's long. It's long Argento. It's like, I would say it might even be more slow paced than Trauma.
Yeah.
But
it's been a long time.
I enjoyed it enough. Yeah, I feel like you have to be in a certain kind of mood for these as well. But I think it could lead to an interesting discussion next Italian Horror Month when we cover it. I won't mind watching it again. Hopefully somebody puts a good version. This film is in desperate need of a better version.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like I said, I bought the VHS to watch it.
Yeah.
So my quality wasn't the greatest as well. But I love the opening to this film. I'm telling you, like on the train with the Goblin score and stuff like that. It is Goblin, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the opening scene at all. Like,
yeah,
it's just so gone out of my mind.
But I came in at 7 out of 10 on this one.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a solid movie. It's a little boring, but I thought it was pretty good story. It's a little, a lot of giallos are a little convoluted with like certain things, but you kind of have to accept them. Yeah, another solid Argento, man.
Yeah, great. Wow. Okay, I wasn't expecting to come in so high on it. I was a little bit shocked by that. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I give Trauma a 7. I think I did.
Yep.
I would say it's about that quality.
Yeah, I think we were all so far apart on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so last up for me tonight is I don't know who sent me this one. Does anyone know before I go?
Yeah, it's Rob Hankins.
Rob Hankins. All right, so yeah, from 2006 and part
or
of
Hankins.
Yeah, Rob Hankins.
Hankins.
I think it's Hankins. Yeah. From 2006, and it's called Mullberry Street. This was part of the 8 Films to Die For series. I think this is from the first one, the first 8 Films to Die, or second one maybe.
It's not the first. I think it's the second.
Yeah, first or second. I can't remember. I fucking. Really
it's not the first. I'm sure it's not the first.
Okay.
I have all of this in front of me.
Okay, so then it's definitely the second season or the second series because the third one is definitely not part of the third one. Yeah, but directed by Jim Mickle, and this was the very first feature-length film that he did. And then he, honestly, man, I don't really hear a lot of talk about this guy for some odd reason, and he's directed 4 good films, in my opinion. 2010, he did Stakeland, which I enjoy. I did the remake of We Are What We Are, which I enjoy. I know some people didn't really care for it too much. The Spanish version is better, but I think but this movie was just he took a little bit of a different approach to it, and I thought it was really good. And of course, he did Cold in July, which is not a straight up horror film. It's more of a
pretty good noir.
Yeah, it's crime. Yeah, exactly. Good ass film. So this guy's got a little bit of fucking talent, man. He's on the directorial side of things, and going into a film like Mullberry Street, it sounds cool, it looks cool and shit, and if you were to read the synopsis of it, you'd kind of be like, what the fuck, really? It's one of these type of films? And I feel that that's why a lot of people maybe have not seen this one. You don't really hear a lot of people talk about this one, surprisingly, because it's actually a really decent film. But basically what we have here is we have a bunch of people that are trying to survive a deadly infection breakout caused by rats. So essentially we have a bunch of, different type of people that know each other inside this apartment building that's just been, actually everybody in the apartment building's actually just been recently evicted. I think they're demolishing the building or something like that. And of course this outbreak happens in the subway system where these infected rats start biting people and then it just kind of turns into a plague type deal. So now we follow these type of different characters and they're trying to survive this outbreak and shit. It sounds silly, because when you go one step further and, once you get bitten by a rat or somebody else or whatever, you get, infected, but you actually kind of turn into like a rat creature a little bit. I know, it's like, it sounds so fucking, but the way Mickle did this in the film, he never shows, he kind of shows you with longer, like, hair growing out of your ears and things. It's never to the point where you turn into a fucking rat. It doesn't have really stupid, over-the-top effects.
It's not like you turn into a dolphin.
No, you don't. And you just kind of, you get certain traits of this rat, like your mouth and shit like that. But it's not over the top. That's one thing I like about this movie the best, is that it actually takes itself serious. Because, let's face it, man, rats have been the cause of the world's biggest plagues. I mean, back in the day, 30-40% of the world's population died in a plague caused by rats, and that's why this storyline kind of makes a little bit of sense. Rats carry millions and millions of diseases. If they actually did start attacking, because they're all fucked up in the head and shit, and this could possibly happen again. You never know. It's not a zombie film. People always say it's like a fucking zombie rat film. It's not. People are being infected. It's not fucking zombie film. But the thing I like about this movie is actually the characters. Everybody's kind of unique, and all the characters seem really real. There is some cliche characters. They do have a gay guy in here. I really like the character, the boxer guy. He's an older guy, and he's actually waiting for his daughter to get out of this rehabilitation hospital because she was injured during the war, and she was, you know, making her journey to this apartment for her birthday and stuff. And I like that whole aspect of that. But the thing that really sells this film is that the characters feel fucking real. And the way he shoots this, it's got this really kind of dark and dreary doom and gloom type feel and look to the film, which is fantastic. The acting is great in the film. The blood and gore it's not over the top and shit, but it's there, it's present. It's enough to kind of satisfy, you know, that aspect of these type of films, these infection films and stuff. And I think it's just a brilliant film. It really is a good infection film. And I wish it'd get mentioned more among this subgenre of films, because it's definitely one of the highlights from, I think, probably the second season. The first 8 Films to Die For was fantastic. I mean, it has Frontiers and has so many good films like Nightmare Man and shit, but this is one of the better ones, I think, for the second one.
Frontiers isn't in part 1.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it was one of the...
Frontiers? Not in the first season. Not in the first series.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
No.
It actually is, dude. It was the film that was pulled from the 8 Films to Die For, released as in the first series. There's 9 films in the first 8 in the first series.
I'm investigating.
Yeah, so there's 9 films actually released for the 8 Films to Die For series 1, and Frontiers, I believe, is the bonus one, because they pulled it from the festival because it was deemed too fucking violent.
Frontiers was the second season.
Okay, so then maybe the second season has 9 films. But anyways, the point is it was fucking pulled. So, but yeah, the first couple seasons, man.
Yeah, second season has 9 films. So the first season has 9 too, but not Frontiers.
Okay. Memory's foggy. I haven't watched these films in a while. I haven't thought about the 8 Films to Die For in a long time, because they did 4 seasons, and it went to After Dark, and shit got all fucked up. But most of the better films are in the first 2 series, but this is one of them. I highly recommend Mullberry Street, man. It's a good watch. It doesn't overstay its welcome at all. I think the cinematography is fantastic. It actually, you know, for a film that's shot in 2006 or mid 2000s, whenever he shot it, it has this kind of gritty New York feel to it. It's amazing. You don't see a lot of films from this time period that actually kind of capture, you know, not the high end of New York. It's more of the grittiness and things like that. And I love that. I absolutely love that, man. It feels like more of a contained horror film, even though there is scenes outside of the apartment building where they're, you know, kind of trying to survive and shit. But it's fantastic, man. It's claustrophobic. It's, you know, it's intense at times and shit, and it really does work on all levels. And I'm glad that they took it serious and didn't go over the top with stupid shit, because that would have kind of ruined the film. But yeah, Mullberry Street, 7.5 out of 10. I think it's worth your time. Give it a shot.
Yeah, I've always heard good things about that one. See, I mean, honestly, one day we should cover these films on an episode.
Now you got me all fucking tripping now. I can't remember which ones are which from which series. I know Nightmare Man is from the first one.
You keep saying it's just from part 1, but I'm looking at part 1 in front of me, so I knew that it wasn't.
Okay.
Snoop Dogg's Hood of Horror and The Tripper were the bonus films from part 1.
That was
They weren't released.
One of those films.
They weren't released as them, but they were part of the festival.
They were part of the exactly. They were part of the festival. They weren't released on disc as part of those box sets or anything. They were bonus shit, but
yeah.
But yeah, no, there is, honestly, man, in the first 4, which I consider the real ones, because the later ones, the After Dark ones, kind of, they were still festivals, but it was different. It wasn't highly acclaimed.
What, you mean the After Dark Horror Fest, right? Because there's the After Dark Horror Fest, then the After Dark Originals that came out.
Which was,
later.
It was related to the 8 Films to Die For. It was just like the new series of them, kind of thing. The new festival. Yeah. They kind of changed it, so... they were hit and miss and shit, but yeah, I would like to, you know, honestly cover a lot of these films, because some of them are really
like
decent.
What if we did like just the first 8 Films to Die For one year, you know, 2006?
Be fun,
and did all yeah, like, you know, did them all as an episode. We might have to put that on Patreon. That's a lot. I didn't realize that's 8 films. That's a franchise show.
Well, it's technically 9. Because there's actually 9.
Well, technically 10 if we throw the Tripper in there, which we've actually reviewed before.
I like Tripper.
No, we just do the films that came actually in the box set or whatever, and then just kind of do it like that. But yeah, man, I mean,
maybe after Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead, all the Dead films get picked. That we'll throw 8 Films to Die For in there as a pick.
Why not? Why not?
There's 5. We forgot about the 5th one, right? That splash in the pan from a few years ago. Are those even available?
Yeah, they were released all different, man. Like,
are you talking about the burn on demand ones?
Yeah, like I have like the.
They were all so expensive, right?
What was that fucking the one with the pancake kid or the
Lumberjack Man?
Lumberjack Man. Yeah, that shit was ridiculous.
That was like the only one that got any love.
I just remember that they were all
expensive.
DVD-Rs, and you can't even get them anymore, I don't think.
You know, man, the first season, man, actually has some really good films, man. Like, I really enjoyed Dark Ride. That's a good one, man. Grave Dancers.
No, the first season I love, man. There's some great stuff in there.
Yeah, Grave Dancers, super underrated.
Hamilton's is awesome.
It is, man. Penny Dreadful is pretty cool. Wicked Little Things is fantastic. The Abandoned is a film that I enjoy. It's so different for not just Serta. He's the guy that, did, the fucking shit's totally escaping my mind right now. Aftermath and shit, yeah. So,
yeah, and even the second season's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, those would be fun.
I'm surprised it never got brought up before. Date Films to Die For.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we'll throw those up in the pool of franchise shows.
Get them for cheap.
Yeah, you're right, man. Fucking Mulberry Street, Nightmare Man's from the second one. God, I was way all over the place. I even have those things in order in my shelves, too. Fuck, I suck. I suck. But yeah, so, anyways, that is...
it was just easy for me to know because I know I have all of the first season, but I don't have the other ones. Okay. So I'm like, if you say like, Frontiers, it's like, well, I actually do have Frontiers, but it's...
Me too.
It's, yeah. But yeah, if you like say one and I'm Mulberry, like for example, Mulberry Street, it's like I know I don't own that, so I know it's not part of the first.
Yeah, I've always said like the third After Dark was definitely the weakest. There's only like a couple decent ones even in the whole horror fest. Kind of weak. Fourth one's good though. It's got some good ones.
I love the idea of it though.
They're all $19 on Amazon. Number 5.
Oh man!
Wow,
that's crazy.
That would be a pain in the dick.
Yep.
Damn.
I mean, maybe we'll make $1,000 a month on the Patreon. We could get them all.
I have seen a couple of these because
you wouldn't get to the 5th one for a while.
I had when I was getting shit from I think was it like Anchor Bay, Canada or something. I don't know, but they sent me Lumberjack Man. I reviewed that and Suspension. Like they're okay. I've seen Rekill before because that was one that was supposed to be. I think that was actually for one of the earlier After Dark Horror Fest, but just it got cut out or something like that, and it got released in this one. And yeah, so $20 a piece for Burn on Demands. What the fuck are they thinking?
I know, crazy, right?
That's unfortunate that they never put it out in a box set. Probably been a lot cheaper, but yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, that's it for the dubs.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are easily frightened, we advise you not to watch this film. On the other hand, if you enjoy the violent emotions, this film is for you.
Oh yeah, getting into the featured reviews here on episode 149, and of course the final week during Italian Horror Month, which is November. And it's saddening because it's kind of like, when Halloween ends or October ends, I kind of get that same feel because I love Italian films, love this time of year. And yeah, but with that said, week 4, this was actually Patreon, wasn't it?
Yep, this was the Patreon special courtesy of who, Jeremy?
I don't know.
D-Borgie 417.
Yes.
Sure, let's go up with that.
417. Yeah. Which, funny enough, we were going to have him on this show, but we ended up having him on the
motto
last show. It was
not the motto.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell his
because
name
I
is.
almost
Diodato.
didn't make the show on that show, so we had a backup third host. But yeah, this was his picks. Joe D'Amato. 3 films that I was very happy that he selected, considering I own them all.
2.
Yeah, nice. All 3 Severin.
Oh
names.
yeah, because you guys get free Severins. That's right. I forgot about.
There's some horrible fucking motion blur in the first 2 of these movies. It's really fucking bad.
I got
motion blurriness. Really?
Yep.
Oh, that sucks. I don't have that in.
Yeah, I don't.
In the 88
I can't recall what you're saying. I'd have to look. I don't.
There's some bad interlacing going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Severin.
Absurd is fine, but the other 2.
Yeah, that's odd because I was under the impression that the transfers were the same, but I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, maybe I'm just crazy.
I don't know. I don't have my copy. But anyways, but yeah. With that said, Joe D'Amato. Before he did this little run here, I mean, these films that we're going to be talking about were made between 79 and 81. Very close. I mean, I would say a lot of people associate Joe D'Amato with the Emmanuel films. He's directed a lot of those. A lot of kind of softcore porn. I mean, he directed hardcore porn films too. I mean, this guy directed so many different types of films. You need a whole podcast just to talk about D'Amato's career. I mean, he has almost 200 directorial credits to his name. I have not seen. I think the last D'Amato film I seen was in like an early '80s type thing.
But it's weird because these movies aren't sleazy whatsoever. Like, barely any nudity.
It's almost like he took off, just kind of swayed away from the sleaze just for a little bit of period in his career, and then kind of went back to it. But even in this time, he still did some hardcore shit. But he dabbled in cannibal film, every type of genre, man. Really, really insane. D'Amato actually passed away, in
Jesus Christ,
99.
I mean, if you look at how many films he directed from, oh my God, like if you go to his IMDb right now,
it's crazy.
Look at the films he directed in the 90s.
Yeah,
the 90s, dude.
Well,
oh my God,
I actually made it.
Dude, he directed 100 films in the 90s. It looks
I made a joke. Like, he directed more films in the 90s, and I think there actually was horror films in general.
In the 90s.
Like, it's insane.
He directed like 10 films a year.
I know. It's just fucked up, dude. It's crazy. I mean, I think a lot of these are pornos and shit. I mean, if you're looking at some of the titles, but
I guess easier to make.
It is what it is, man.
Dude, he literally directed movies until he died. He died in 99. He died in 99, and he also released 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 movies came out from him in 99.
That's more than Tarkovsky made in his entire career.
What did he die from?
Overworking himself?
It's possible. He probably did a lot of drugs.
No idea. I'm not actually too familiar
I'll find
with his
out.
death.
Stand by. He died from...
He was pretty young, though.
Heart attack.
Yeah, 62, man. 60.
I bet he was a smoker.
Probably. But yeah, 62 years old, Joe D'Amato passed away, and yeah, he's got a very intriguing career. I mean, he did action films and just very, very wild stuff. But
look at this one called Calamity. He made 2 films in 1998, Calamity Jane and Calamity Jane 2.
Calamity, bro.
Calamity. Get ready to head off into the wild. Get ready to head off into the wild, wild west for the ride of your life. A blistering tale of the original bad girl, a hooker, bank robber, gunslinging Jezebel whose sexual exploits makes her an American legend. Sounds absolutely awful.
Sounds great to me.
Sounds like he shot them together and just made it into 2 films.
What is he, David Sterling now?
Probably, man. All right, so Joe D'Amato, first up here from 1979 with a film called Beyond the Darkness, also known as, I don't even know how to really pronounce this, but Bio Omega. That's the name you see on most of the posters. The Italian name for it. Synopsis. Grief struck after the death of his wife. A young man attempts to keep her with him forever by gutting her, stuffing her, and replacing her eyes with glass eyes, turning her into a doll. But his bouts of sanity are just beginning. Yeah, it's kind of there.
Why do you love this movie so much, JP?
Oh, what are you talking about?
You said it was like a 9 quality unless you set my ass up or something.
What do you... what? Can you What are you talking about?
You set him up.
I just think the movie's okay.
I didn't set him up. Yeah, it's okay.
I don't think it's like as amazing as people have wrote about it on Letterboxd and stuff like that. And why the hell didn't you kick that fat bitch out of the car? Why the fuck did he take her home? Like, what was the point of that? Why didn't you just
okay, let me break this movie down for you right now.
Well, what do you mean?
Nothing makes sense.
What do you mean nothing?
Why did he pick up that fat bitch? And when she was asleep, why didn't he just kick her out of the car? Why did he have to take her home only to kill her? Like, he knew what was going to happen.
He doesn't want to take her home, clearly.
Okay, first of all, he doesn't pick her up on purpose. She climbs into the fucking vehicle.
So why didn't he kick her out of the car?
Because he's gone insane. After his wife died, he's like literally lost his mind. And at that moment, it was basically kind of an opportunity moment where she's presented herself in his vehicle. And he's like, wow, shit, I can take her home and possibly do
but he doesn't
things.
Seem like that kind of person.
To me, the acting looks like he doesn't want her in the car and just accepts, like, okay, I guess she's won't get out.
Yeah.
And just goes.
I think that's the moment where he realizes that, I mean, the underlining is supposed to be where, he loses his sanity because he wants to kind of replace his wife a little bit. And he's not really too sure on how he wants to do that. If he wants to rebuild her, if he wants
But he only loses his sanity when somebody else sees her. That's the only time he kills somebody.
Sanity losing angle in this film was either poorly written or poorly acted.
This motherfucker set me up. This motherfucking cocksucker Mexican.
Dude,
about?
when did you turn into the most paranoid person on the earth?
I'm gonna breathe.
I said that this movie has some pretty solid atmosphere, man.
No, you said it was a 9. You fucking
I never said it was a 9. What are you?
I think
this guy talking.
I mean,
I said I was gonna give them all 666, and then you go, "Oh, I gave it a 9."
Triple sixes. I thought you were saying 999s, dude.
Get the fuck out of here! You set my ass up.
Oh my god, here we go again. Jesus Christ! Everyone's setting up Jeremy's fucking paranoid as fucking he is Norman Bates. Look at this guy.
No, he did it. He did it on purpose.
Listen, but no, I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, I thought that scene was pretty dumb, honestly. Like, he's just like, okay, I guess I'm not going to kick you out. I'm just going to go home, even though you're a witness to what I'm going to be doing. Luckily, you fall asleep in my car, though.
The thing is, though, man, I think the reason why he's acting all obviously the reason why he's acting all strange and he doesn't want to, I mean, it's not like it would matter anyways if he just got all pissed off and said, get the fuck out of my vehicle. She wouldn't be like, this guy's weird. Maybe he has a dead body in the back of his vehicle. And,
Here we go.
No, but if he's like, "Hey, get the fuck out of my vehicle, you bitch!"
Beyond the Darkness is pretty good so far, and I said,
"Stop reading, stop reading,
dude,
stop,
dude, no, that's totally not allowed. You cannot read out messages,
dude.
We've talked about this before. You can't do that. You can't read out messages, man.
Stop.
You're breaking fucking, dude. Don't.
This is like Street Code 101, man.
Dude, that's not cool, man. Don't read that. Even if it's not.
We literally had a huge conversation about this. Jesus.
Dude, we had a huge fight about this in the past. Like, don't do that shit. Anyways, but I think the way D'Amato is trying to, with his main character here, man, the reason why he's acting awkward and he allows her to stay in the vehicle because he has his dead wife in the back. He's basically trying to get home.
I get that it's like, oh shit, like I'm scared. I don't want to make a move here because it might draw attention. I just don't think it played the greatest in terms of like.
I don't think it does. I don't think it does either, but I think there is. I think it kind of sets up the opportunity in his eyes though too, because I think like when he first sees her, he's not like, I'm going to fucking kill you. It's when he gets home that he has this opportunity, and he's like, I think it's also a combination of the opportunity has presented itself and the fact that he's confused. He's completely fucking confused. He
also
doesn't really know what he wants.
Leaves her in the truck, right? Like, like, oh, I'm gonna go here. Not gonna lock the door or anything.
I mean, I think
just gonna go in here and do my thing.
A lot of things can be.
Walks in.
Yeah, a lot of things can be, kind of set in the fact that like he's insane.
I can literally pick this film apart. It has so many problems. Like, why does the guy see him jab this autopsy lady with something, not say anything then, but then show up at his house days later? You know what I mean? But I actually really like this movie. I think that it has major plot problems, but I just think it's fun. It's fucking cool, dude.
Dude,
it's it reminds me of fucking Deranged or something, like Ed Gein.
Like I said before when I reviewed this film a couple times, this is one of those films that makes me feel dirty while I watch it, man. There's something about the way everything kind of goes down in this, its grittiness. The gore is absolutely disgusting in this
Doesn't
film.
it remind you of like Deranged or something, like, you know, the Ed Gein movie?
It does, because
I dig that.
It's kind of the same, you know. This character is very relatable to that one because they've kind of lost their fucking minds, and the thing that always
I don't think he lost his mind. I just think he was always crazy.
No, he loses his mind because his wife fucking dies.
And apparently voodoo works.
Yeah, and well, that's actually one of my biggest problems with this movie is that the beginning, we all know why she does it. You know, why she kills the wife, because she's in love with, you know, her master or whatever. And she's the fucking housekeeper / maid or whatever the hell she is. But she's in love with him.
Has the same expression on her face, and the movie basically turns into a haunted house movie by the end.
A haunted house movie?
It has that feel of a haunted house.
I was gonna say there's not really
feel to it.
Yeah, I was like, what?
But I always
has that feel to it.
That was always my one big issue with this film is how it opens up. Is like we've got this, you know, this house maid whatever. And who's the person doing the voodoo?
Isn't that her?
No, well, there's two people there, right?
The Iris, she does the voodoo, right?
Well, she's not the one holding the voodoo. She's present there, but there's someone.
What the shit?
There's actually somebody holding the doll, and then they put the.
Did she like go to a voodoo specialist? Like, hey, I got this.
That's what I was always wondering. I was like,
this. I'm in love with this guy, but he got this thing called a wife or something. I need her out of the way.
Yeah.
And then, like, after his wife dies, it's like perfect time for some titty milk.
I know, right?
Like, what the? I was like, what is? I was like,
and how is she still fucking producing that shit?
Some people do. Some people some people can just lactate on command.
It's not very common, but a lot of, I mean, you've seen this in films before.
She's a fucking old ass lady.
I mean, if she had a kid, you know, even 10 years prior, and she just kept fucking lactating herself, you could still produce the milk. I mean, as long as
she doesn't change her fucking expression the entire film, but she looks like an old lady. An older lady, at least.
I think the casting of her was kind of good, though, because she's, like, insane looking, like, mean looking.
That's what I said. It feels like a crazy person in a haunted house, kind of a like the old dark house. She just seems like one of those characters who would fit in, who lives in a middle of nowhere mansion, and the way she opens the door and shit like that feels very reminiscent to those kind of movies.
She's only 33.
Yeah, she definitely does look older in the movie.
I think that's by wardrobe and like kind of design.
Well, probably. I mean, she's supposed to be a little bit evil.
She's supposed
considering
to be like
she's going along with these killings and you know, doing a big part. Like the scene.
There's I just like the shit that like, you know, stupid shit aside. I just like the horror that goes on in this movie. You know, like digging eyeballs out and like taking the guts out and like having sex with this girl next to your wife's corpse, stealing your wife's corpse, stabbing her with some gross shit and embalming her. And then the ending, you know, the ending shocker is, you know, kind of morbid as well. Like, I don't know. It just like, I kind of dig like how they like, you know, it's dismembering.
There's fairy tales from the crypty.
It's a gritty film, man. You know, It's got a lot of great gore, man. Like the bathtub scene is just nasty, dude. When they fucking hack up that fatty, but like even the aftermath of that, when she goes out back and digs that hole and pours that shit in there, like it's just fucking disgusting. It's filthy. I love that shit, man. It's really gritty, man. But there is a lot of things in this film that are odd. Like the fact, like I have no idea what he's injecting his wife with at the funeral home. I'm assuming it's
just
something
like
to
some
preserve
kind of
her.
embalming thing that's going to keep her from rotting.
But I don't think it works like that.
But it doesn't make sense because she would get embalmed.
Well, that's where my point is leading here. That makes little to no sense because she already would have been embalmed, and she wouldn't have had the guts that he pulls out of her at his place, right? All that shit would have been removed.
Unless she was just
sometimes religious reasons they don't do that.
See, now that's that was something I thought about too, and I actually have noted on here. I'm not sure what it's like in Italy. I know in certain countries, like I don't know, like Singapore. I don't know. There's some of those Asian country stuff. They'll bury their dead within 24 hours. They have to. It's something to do with their soul. They have to get them in. They have to.
Yeah, I had people come to the hotel the other, like maybe 2 months ago, who were like freaking out because of their religion, they had to get like transfer this stuff and
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. As far as I know in Italy, I think it's pretty normal to have a funeral like 5 days later, whatever. They embalm people. I'm pretty sure that's the way it works. I'm not 100%, but I don't know. I just thought it was kind of odd that he, one little vial, and that's going to preserve her. I don't think so.
Speaking of embalming, that one guy who became the one guy who was on body bags, who became a mortician, who lives in Florida. Remember that guy?
Oh, Austin, yeah.
Yeah. Remember that guy? Wonder what he's doing right now.
I see him on Instagram.
I still see him on Instagram.
Yeah, he posts
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. He just dipped, though.
Yeah, he just, like, bounced. Like, I just saw that fucking Scott posted a video. It's, like, he's so random.
Like, besides all the nasty-ass gore in this film, one part that just fucking makes me... Like, I have a hard time watching it. I know it's the sound effects in the part, too, but it's actually after the part I was just talking about where she dumps all those guts into that hole and kind of buries it up. She doesn't do a very good job, by the way. She totally leaves, like, everything obvious that there's something there. But anyways, that's besides the point. And she goes inside, and he's quite obviously a little bit distraught. He's just like, oh, what the fuck did we just do kind of thing,
Yeah.
But he's accepted it and shit. She, like, lays this bowl of slop in front of him.
See, that's why I don't think he's lost his mind.
And then, of course, he's kind of like, okay. And then she starts eating, but she's eating it so fucking gross. It's like all over her lips, and the sound effects are just nasty. I'm just like, ugh. Every time I see it, it's so gross. Ugh. Fucking vile.
Like,
man.
This is the type of movie you want Joe Bob to show.
For sure.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know, man. I think a lot of the kills in this film are pretty good, actually. Pretty good stuff, man. Definitely the highlight of the movie.
I think the movie just has like a good like horror atmosphere that is just like, it's nasty. It's like,
but is it worth a 9?
No, it's not worth a 9.
Fucking lying cocksucker, man.
Never said it was worth a 9.
Oh man, I'm so mad right now.
I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
But why would you even be mad? What does it matter if he says that it's a 9? What matters? What should matter to you is what your opinion is. If you give it a 5 out of 10, it's
don't have an opinion.
It is what it is, man. I mean, just shouldn't matter. But
so what? I mean, are we in ratings now?
I guess unless you guys got anything to say.
Not really.
No, there's not really much to dissect here. I mean, it's just like some cool scenes, some gore and murders and stuff. It's like, I don't know. For me, I got heavy, like, deranged vibes from it.
It does have like this kind of subplot with, him being investigated and shit like that. People are going missing and things. It feels like Phil. I mean, you kind of have to have that in there. Because
it makes sense to have it.
It does kind of make sense and shit, but it's not really the driving force behind everything. It's more about his sanity.
You're just about to sit there and watch this dude do some fucked up. This dude and his titty milk housekeeper do some fucked up shit for like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's really all it is. And
did you guys watch it in Italian or in English?
Probably English. I think whatever the autoplay is on.
I just did Italian for all these besides Absurd, because Absurd was shot in English.
Yeah, I'm pretty. Nope, I know I did it English actually. Now that I think about it,
it's the first when you pop in the 88 Films Blu-ray, it just comes up like that. So
whatever is, if I just hit play, that's usually what I'm watching.
I figure it's Italian horror month, so I should probably watch it in Italian.
Yeah, but you never know with Italian, though, man, because sometimes it's dubbed and it's not actually them.
Yeah, I realized that right away with Absurd.
All the movies are dubbed, but yeah, I think if you watch the film, it's shot in English, like they were actually speaking English, but it's dubbed in both English and Italian anyways, but I think the actors are actually speaking English, so... A lot of the later films like this, like, the later 70s to the early 80s and shit, they were mostly shot in English. They're really trying to...
Yeah, but sometimes you get dubbed Italian ones that they have different actors doing the voices. That's the worst.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's most films, really.
Yeah,
most of the actors don't dub their own voices, even in Italian. So
that's weird.
It is weird because they have voice actors. A lot of the directors would be like, no.
Yeah, but their voice actors suck. That's what they don't. That's the one thing that there's definitely some missing element.
Oh,
to
100%.
cultural, because, dude, they sound ridiculous whenever they dub their English counterparts or their Italian ones.
Do you ever notice, man?
Absolutely insane.
When you're watching, I don't know if you've ever clued onto it, but like a lot of these movies have the same actors doing the voices. Like you can fucking tell it's the same people doing multiple characters, It's fucking hilarious, man. So I think this is one of them, actually. I swear, the guy's voice I've heard in like a million movies. It's pretty funny. But anyways, JP, why don't you go first? Ratings.
Yeah, so I actually really like this movie despite its story flaws. At the end of the day, one thing that this movie definitely succeeds on is it's well paced. There's something happening consistently. There's some good nastiness to it and horror, which is what I like. And I like the atmosphere. I like the just vibe of it, the setting of it, watching what these weirdos are doing to people and bodies and stuff. It's cool. I like that this guy keeps his wife around and has sex with another girl and, has to pull the blanket off of his wife so he can look at her while having sex with her. That shit's morbid to me and I like it. So
it's great.
I was, although there are flaws and I do take points off, I'm a little more forgiving whenever there's all this cool shit happening in between. So I'm coming.
There's a lot of cool shit happening in Hands of Steel, and you didn't give it points.
There's no cool shit happening in Hands of Steel.
Oh my god, you're fucking insane.
That movie is very forgettable. Hands of Steel. Come on, you're gonna remember this one. I think that this. I mean, it's kind of a hard one to rate. I'm gonna come in at 7.5 out of 10. 7.5.
All right. Yeah, man. I've talked about this movie lots of times, man. I love a movie that makes me feel dirty and kind of makes me gag, and those are great elements, man. That's horror films to me. Driving Force, man. This movie has fantastic music, man. I love the soundtrack to this movie. It's such a great companion piece with the dirtiness of the content.
It comes with the Severin.
Yeah. And it's fucking awesome, man. It's really good. What's that?
I said mine didn't.
Really? You didn't get the soundtrack with
what?
Beyond the Darkness?
Oh, crazy.
I don't think so.
I got one with mine.
Oh, crazy. But yeah, dude, like,
it's Goblin, right?
It's pretty much all you need in the film, man. Good soundtrack, good atmosphere, good kills, bizarreness. I've come to realize that I am really freaked out by adults breastfeeding. That shit is beyond fucking weird to me.
Well, you see it in Burial Grounds too, right?
Yeah,
I think
dude.
we see it in that movie.
Well, there's a titty scene in there, but like, I don't know. There's something very odd and wrong about that to me. I don't know what it is. It's unsettling and another great thing, to have in the
Mine
film.
does come with a soundtrack, by the way. I didn't realize.
Yeah. I've always been a really big fan of this film, and it definitely has its flaws. There's certain things I'm always questioning with the embalming and things like that. I'm just like, that makes little to no sense. I'm pretty fucking sure actually when he's, pulling her guts out when he's disemboweling her, those have got to be real guts. They had to have went out and grabbed like some type of pig guts or some shit, because that shit looks way too real. It's actually nauseating. I was watching this film. I
think it's more real looking in the next movie than this one.
But I think they actually did use real guts though, and for some reason when I was watching this film, I was just getting nauseated again. Like I always said, man, every time I watch, House of a Thousand Corpses, that movie always makes me feel shitty. This one does too, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing for me. The stupidest fucking thing about this movie is the very last shot. I've always questioned why in the shit they did that. It's almost...
I can't think of it.
It's so stupid that it's comical to me, and it's like... it just doesn't need to be there. Obviously, it's there for shock value and whatever. It's just, okay, But, I don't know. I really don't know why they did it, but I love this movie. I've stressed it enough. Yes, it has its flaws. 8.5 Beyond the Darkness. Sticking with my old rating, I think that is my rating. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I have rated it on the show, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I don't know. I could be wrong. I might be way off.
I don't know. It seems like I keep on giving all these movies the same rating. I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know, maybe I just don't like them very much. But this one's fine for what it is. It has pretty good atmosphere that we talked about, and it has pretty nasty effects at some point. But the story was just fine for me. I wasn't totally invested and interested in it like you guys were. So I give it a 6-0. 6.
6. You know, I actually this is one that I would definitely return to. Like, I like that movie. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, it's great.
Well, considering you said it was worth a 9.
I don't know where you're coming up with these 9s at, bro. I think you're looking at your 6s upside down, dude.
Yeah.
Did you have your phone upside down and think that I said 9 whenever you just said 6?
Sure.
Yeah, I was pretty bang. I figured Jeremy was going to come in about that, and Chief,
Well,
you're a little bit higher.
he
You're
was,
higher than
'cause
I thought.
can see all his, because he tells me got 6s. I'm higher than you thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the. It's kind of like what was the one we reviewed last year that I really liked? Burial Grounds.
Mm-hmm.
Because that movie doesn't make the most sense, but it's really entertaining.
Oh, it just has some of the coolest looking zombies, and the kills in that movie are phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's just a blast, man. Fucking
actually, all 3 of these movies remind me of that movie a little bit, just like the vibes.
Yeah, it's very similar. Very similar.
Get off!
A flash of steel. An unearthly shriek. An icy breath. A knock at the door. Omens of evil. Warnings of death. An invitation to terror from the Grim Reaper.
But yeah, moving along, man, to the next year, into the 80s, 1980, with Anthropophagus, also known as A Million Other Titles, and also one of the most famous video nasties. This is one of the films that's kind of responsible for the video nasty in the craze in the UK, along with Cannibal Holocaust. Oddly enough, we were reviewing these films in almost consecutive weeks. But yeah,
I've actually seen this film before, but I'll tell you this before we get into the review. This is when I discovered the video nasties, I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch them all, and this was the first one I came to, and I watched it on like terrible like VHS quality, and I don't even know if I finished the movie. This was back in like 2010, and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this. These movies suck. These video nasties. Because it was this one and Absurd. Are both Absurd and this one a video nasty?
Yes.
Okay. It was both of them because they started with A's, and I tried both of them. And I was like,
it would have been Absurd and then Anthropophagus.
Absurd feels more of a nasty to me than this movie,
So
to be honest.
I remember watching the beginnings to both of these and being like, no, I'm not going to do this. And I can tell you one thing. Transfers make you at least invested right away more than shitty transfers, because
man, 2010, you were still a fucking PQ elitist back then too, eh?
No, it's just I'm telling you, like something about the transfers makes these movies seem better than they actually are. I swear to God.
You know, it is true though, man. If you're watching, Cannibal Holocaust on like a sixth generation dubbed VHS tape, versus the Grindhouse Blu-ray, your experience is going to be different. If you go to those extremes, right? For sure. So I can see that, man. I can see how it really elevates the experience that you're having, for sure.
Well, if you liked Bloodhook more than you normally would because of the transfer.
Of course, man. And
that was fucking awesome.
I think a lot of these older movies too, on the older transfers, are so dark and hard to see and shit.
Yeah.
And you find yourself just being like, fuck, I just wish I could see it better, kind of thing. So, but yeah, this
Funeral Home, god damn it.
I'm not that one definitely needs. That's a William Freud film that's been neglected to shit. But anyways, Yeah, Anthropophagus, man. So you guys had the Severin. I watched the 88 Blu-ray, the remastered one. Of course, this is starring George Eastman, who we talked about last week in Hands of Steel. I said that we're going to be talking about this week. A couple times he's actually starring in the next film, which is like a pseudo kind of offbeat sequel to Anthropophagus. And oddly enough, this one is starring Tissa Farrow, who is Mia Farrow's younger sister, I believe. It's just like so random. But she was actually in a bunch of Italian films. She was, of course, in Zombie, in The Last Hunter, which I believe is a Martino film. And yeah, it's pretty actually interesting that she was in this film. I believe this might have been her last role. And it's kind of ironic a little bit, too, because in this film, her kind of sub-storyline is that she's going to this island to like help out with this blind girl and stuff. But in real life, she actually quit acting and then went into nursing. So she was actually, kind of doing what she was in real. Anyways, I digress. Synopsis: a group of tourists become stranded on an uninhabited island where they are stalked by an insane, violent, and grotesque killer that slaughtered the town's former residents.
I'm convinced this movie's shot on the same island that was used in Who Can Kill a Child. They look exactly the fucking same. I would bet my money it's the same fucking island.
I'm not. I don't remember where they shot Who Can Kill a Child, but I know this. I'm pretty like. This was shot in Greece.
It looks the same.
It was shot in Greece.
This is shot. I think they shot in like South America or something for Who Could Kill a Child, didn't they?
I'm not sure. I'm Spanish. I'm not sure where they did, but it does.
All the buildings look the same and everything like that.
It does look similar, for sure. But I'm pretty
similar
sure this island was
types of architecture. You know?
Definitely in Greece. Some island in Greece, but yeah, this movie right here. The reason why it's on the Video Nazi list, or why it was so controversial, so famous, is basically for one scene.
The ending.
This movie is not overly insane with kills, and actually, I've always
all of Who Could Kill a Child was filmed in Spain.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this movie, I mean, it does definitely have pacing issues. It's pretty slow. Yeah. But I will give you one thing, man. It's very, very atmospheric. It's shot really well.
See, that's what I was gonna say. Is it has some good nighttime rain scenes.
Yeah.
And I like the vibe of them being alone on the island. Why they're there, I didn't really understand.
They were bringing Tina Farrow to the island.
Yeah. Why?
Because she.
But didn't they just meet her? Don't they just run into her and like...
Because he broke her camera, so they felt bad, and she needed a ride to go to this island because she had no other way to get there because the ferry, I guess, doesn't go to that section.
I was about to say, these people just randomly put all their plans like,
there's an
explanation. We're going here, and then... I mean, that's kind of a...
No, they end up there for a reason. Yeah. There's an explanation for it. And then, of course, she was there to, take care of the blind girl.
Blind girl, yeah.
But, of course...
See what you get for being nice?
Yep. Pretty much.
I like all these characters, though, and I didn't really lose interest too much throughout the entire movie because you spend all this time with them and they don't really get picked off that fast. So you spend a lot of time with them. So
I actually think the characters are pretty weak.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of my only complaint with this one is just like the characters are just lame, like nobodies. They don't feel like they have much personality or anything to separate or differentiate themselves from each other. But I like most of the movie. I think that it's, actually, you know what? I think that like this is my kind of Italian horror. Not so much like the giallos and stuff. Like I like this stuff. The stuff that's just
I'm the total opposite.
Like I like the ones that are just like more horror movies. Like a bunch of fucking people on an island with a fucking weirdo after them.
See, I don't like the gross pick-off kind of movies. I like the giallos.
Well,
have a little bit more substance.
I'm right on both sides of that because I love giallos and I love these movies too.
Yeah. I mean, I like them both, but I just like these more. Like I like a good giallo.
I get that.
This is just more like comfort food to me.
Yeah, I mean, like I've always stated in the past, this is definitely a mood film for myself, and I'm a big fan of slow burn films, atmospheric slow burn films. This one just, I feel like you have to watch it when you're in the mood for something like this. You know, does that make sense? Otherwise, I think it could kind of,
I mean, I've never seen it, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
until now.
I've seen it a lot of times, and I have to say, this time around watching, I was really excited to watch it, so I was in the mood, and it just kind of hit me on all good levels. You know, I just kind of took it for what it was, and like I realized like how much I love the way, kind of the setup. You know, Eastman's character as the Beast. You know, they don't introduce him very early in the film. You kind of got to have to wait it out. I really enjoy that, actually.
You don't learn anything a fuck about him.
Well, you
learn a little with like the pictures, but not too much.
Yeah, they explain it, like why he becomes the way he is, because they thought he had died in that shipwreck or whatever, his family and shit, but they actually technically survived. And what they don't know is that, they're in the middle of the ocean, there's nothing to eat, and he decided that, hey, wife and kid looking pretty fucking tasty right now.
So it gives him magical powers or something?
No, well, that part doesn't make sense, but, they explain how he becomes a cannibal. The whole underwater, like the beginning scene has always confused me a little bit, with the German tourists. And, like the dude's on the shore, the girl goes for a swim and shit. This is like, I don't know, just the way the whole shit goes down, whatever, but whatever, explain it away. I don't know, it seems like he does have a little bit of he's kind of inhuman a little bit. That's kind of what they're alluding to. I don't know.
Well, have you ever eaten human flesh? How do you know it doesn't give you some
Not that I know of.
Get the fuck, not that your face is fucking peeling off and shit like that. Get the hell out of here, man.
I know, it almost seems like he was kind of rotting in the water. It almost seems like he's a sea beast. It's weird.
Doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, he's just a gross ass dude, man.
He wasn't gross before, though.
Neanderthal. I mean, I guess if you live like that, become a cannibal and kill everybody, like you become mute also.
Maybe he caught some, what do you call it? Leprosy.
Oh, here we go. JP's trying to explain the fucking no sense fucking narrative.
Honestly, I didn't even realize that he was normal looking. Like, I must have missed that.
They show a picture of him and his family in a frame.
Yeah, and they totally go into the flashback of, how he became what he was and things, and
looked pretty normal to me.
Yeah, he was a normal human. But I was thinking, like, you become a cannibal, you're kind of rotting and shit, and then you just become mute too, I guess.
Maybe he's dead.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, they show him surviving, so I don't.
Does that how it connects to fucking absurd that he's some kind of creature that could re-heal himself?
There you go.
I think the only connection is just the kind of inhumanness of Eastman's character. I think that's really the only. I mean,
well, shit. I'm gonna have to take a half point off for this. I didn't even realize that there wasn't a reason why he was like that.
Yeah.
Damn it. All right, but I love how the Henrietta girl, or Henriette, the blind girl, is like, there's a madman who smells of blood prowling this island. Like, smells of blood.
Maybe it's just a dub.
This guy smells of blood, prowling the island, picking off anybody who comes there because he's hungry. I like it.
Yep. I love her introduction too. Because that's a good jump scare.
Carrie, bro.
Yeah, dude, that's a good jump scare.
She literally looked like Carrie, straight up.
Yeah,
dude, I have that actually written down. It's like the Carrie part of the scene, man, of the movie. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, man. Honestly, the effects in the film are pretty decent, though. With the kills.
There's not many, though.
There actually isn't, and that's the one thing that's always kind of shocked me about this film. I mean, this is totally got banned because of one scene, and it does make perfect sense. Why? Because, I mean, it's a little taboo. I mean, it's a little.
It doesn't make physical sense, but it's nasty still.
I mean, physically, you probably could do that. I mean, I don't know.
But he pulls it out of her pussy, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you reach far enough up there, you grab it and fucking. I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I think you could. I mean, it comes out of there, right? Why couldn't you pull it out yourself? I don't know. But apparently the fetus that they used in the film was actually a skinned rabbit. It's real.
Ugh.
Oh.
So when Eastman actually put his teeth onto that, he was actually biting into real skinned rabbit flesh. Jesus Christ. That's some fucked up shit. But yeah, I mean, that's why it looks so damn real, because it's real. Yeah, man, I don't know. I was in a right state of mind watching this film, man. Everything was kind of hitting on all levels for me. I think the third act's pretty good. You know, it's really atmospheric.
Yeah, the second act is the worst for sure.
Yeah, you know what? I was actually in a great mood watching this too. It was like late at night one night when I got off work and I had to watch these fucking films because I was watching Rocky all week. And
you're watching Rocky because why? And your answer
because
because it's cool.
It was cool. Joe Spinell's in it. But yes. No, I was at work and normally like on like slow nights, I'll go ahead and throw on the movies that I need to watch for the week. But I was training 2 people and I was like, I don't know if I could watch like Anthropophagus and like Beyond the Darkness. Like this might be like
they're not even that sleazy, bro.
But I don't know that.
I told you that.
Dude, you told me that after the fact. Dude, you're dumb. Stop being so dumb. You know you told me that after the fact.
No, I told you that on like Thursday.
Plus, if you're training people at work, do you really want to? Like, that's your first introduction to them?
It's still not dude, it doesn't matter if they're sleazy. Like, these are not appropriate movies for work. Like,
no.
You know what I mean? Like, there's nudity in all of them, I think, in some form or another, right? No?
Yeah, there's nudity in, yeah.
So
you get to see Fatty's bush in Beyond the Darkness.
Yeah,
when they're lopping off her head.
They're not like overly sleazy like porn movies or like the stuff last week. But
no, it's not like some of his other movies. They're full penetration.
But there's still not what I should be watching when training. So instead, I was like, I found out that YouTube put the Rocky movies on YouTube for free. Like they're doing this new thing with ads, which I think they've always done, but they're making a big deal out of it now.
Yeah.
And I watched Rocky 1, 2, and 3 instead. But the point of my story is I got home one night and I think I played a little Xbox and then it was like, you know, time to chill out. And I threw on Anthropophagus first, I think. And I enjoyed the vibes, man. I was feeling it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a decent watch, man. I agree. You know, like I think the film, you know, first act's all right. The second act definitely probably is the weakest part, but it ends really good, and that's what it needs to be. But Giamotto, man, I mean, if you look at his films, dude, like he had definitely, you know, his film specs are pretty. They're up there, man. Like he could shoot a film. You know, he knew what he was doing, man. He could create that tension, that atmosphere, and that's really all you're looking for in these type of films. I mean, we're not trying to dissect and, you know, figure out any hidden shit in Anthropophagus,
honestly,
man. This is a visual film.
Most Italian films, in general, I think it's well known. I mean, any documentary on, like, giallos or anything, you find out, like, their writing is not what they focus on.
No, it's
at
not.
all.
See, I think that's why I've always been so drawn to Italian films because, you know, I can still love a movie even with all of its
you have a major
narrative. Right? Yeah, with all of its narrative, you know, fucking flaws and shit. I love visual atmospheric films and, you know, films that sound good. You know, those are the technical aspects of the film that I focus on a lot because I can just forgive. Like when I'm like I always say when I'm watching indie films, you know, Jeremy always alludes to the fact that the acting was shitty, and I'm just like, it's kind of redundant in itself because we know that when you're watching an indie film, the acting's probably not going to be the greatest. Because let's face it, they're not professionals; they're fucking indie filmmakers, man.
You know what? Acting bothers me the least out of like any of the criteria of film making. Like I just don't notice acting being bad that often. It's like.
Yeah, but that's why we do what we do, because we all have different things that annoy us.
See, to judge the acting in a lot of these dub movies is really hard because a lot of the time it's the
I didn't fucking judge anybody's acting.
No.
Actors I judge is
I'm not talking
somebody
about you.
in the next movie. I'm just absolutely awful.
I'm just generalizing because. You know, for all these dub films, like, I mean, let's face it, when you're watching a film that's not dubbed, you can really tell their performance on the way they're expressing their lines and the way they're delivering their dialogue and shit. When it's fucking dubbed, you can't. So now you're basically just rating the voice actors. Like, the voice
that's
actors
all
suck.
you're doing.
I mean, the visuals, it doesn't match up, right? So that's why I've never been able to bring myself to be like, man, the acting was fucking terrible.
Yeah, you don't even take acting into consideration. The only thing you take into consideration is, like, how bad or good the dub voices are.
Exactly. And you know, And a lot of times it's comical to me in a good way. You know, I'm not like, damn,
here's
dude.
a prime example, right? I watched Dead Snow with my cousin one time. It was on Netflix and it was dubbed. And the movie
I've never seen the dub version. That's funny.
Yeah,
the movie seemed like a complete joke, like not serious at all. Like, we know Dead Snow is a little comedic and stuff, but it seemed like a spoof or something. And then I watched it when I got it on DVD, and I was like, this is a completely different movie. When I watched it in like the actual Norwegian language, I was like, this is completely different.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's like you don't know what you're getting with dubbed. It sounded like a goddamn spoof or something. It was weird.
Where's
the
Dead
whole movie
Snow
was
3,
like
God damn it.
But yeah, you know, Anthropophagus, a weird title.
Or if I say it, Anthropophagus, if you listen to the live stream on Thursday.
What did you say? Anthropophagus?
I said it's something retarded.
Yeah, I actually do remember that. That's pretty funny. That's not even close.
I know, thanks.
But, or you could just call it, you know, AKA the Grim Reaper. I know that's one of the titles. The Island Savage Beast. I don't know. There's so many. This movie has, like, you know,
I think the next one's like Zombie 6 is a title.
You know, Italian films for the most part always have 2 or 3 titles, but this movie alone has like 30. It's ridiculous, man. But
all right, Moodz, what you got for a rating?
Anthropophagus, man. You know, like I said before, this has always been kind of a mood film for me, but it was hitting on all levels, man. I really enjoyed the shit out of this. Kind of took it for what it was, and I love. There's something about Eastman's look as the Beast in this. I love the way he looks. It's fantastic. It's great casting because he's a big fucking dude. I mean, you had to, you know, put him in this role kind of thing. But D'Amato, man, he knows what he's doing. You know, with films, atmospheric. You know, and that's the selling shit for me, man. It's a great movie. I honestly, I really do like Anthropophagus. I think it kind of gets unfairly hated a lot. Maybe because people are just too PC these days to watch somebody eat a fucking fetus. I don't know. But I don't know. But all in all, man, if you like slow burn films, atmospheric with some gore and shit, cool creature, killer, beast, I don't know what the fuck you want to call him, man. It's good. It's fun. 8 out of 10. I like it.
Yeah. Another 6-a-rooney from me.
6-a-rooney. All right. I like this movie. I don't like it as much as Beyond the Darkness, but I thought it was pretty solid. 7 out of 10.
I guess I was kind of thinking that's where you're going to be on this one. Actually, I think you liked it a little bit more than I was thinking, to be honest.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. Because I actually do remember you telling this story, or at least telling me about the Video Nasty thing. And you not being able to get... Yeah, I think I've heard that before. So, yeah.
Okay, guys, the next one is Absurd, aka Horrible, aka Anthropophagus 2, aka The Grim Reaper 2. You can't have one without the other.
All right, getting into one of the greatest years, horror history, 1981. Joe D'Amato's Absurd. Also known as Horrible in Region 1. That was released, actually, Maya Communications actually released that movie under that title, Horrible. But it's mostly known as Absurd. Yeah, also starring George Eastman as the mute, diabolical, inhuman killer. I don't know. He seems like he's a little bit inhuman, because in this film, apparently his blood can coagulate super fast, so like when he gets hurt, he just kind of fucking heals and shit. And
the Halloween ripoff.
It's Halloween?
I mean, in a sense, there's so many similarities to Halloween in this film. There really is. But
Man, Dr. Loomis.
In this case, it's a priest. Well, there's a dog, but there's a priest chasing him down, and who's been chasing him through multiple areas and countries, whatever. All right, so a priest comes to a small town to help get rid of a monster whose blood coagulates very fast. There you go. This creates problems as the monster is very hard to kill, and then decides to go on a killing spree of his own. So,
Halloween.
I don't really decides to go on a killing spree. He was always killing anyways, so it really doesn't make a lot of sense in the synopsis. But
that's those Rams and Steelers.
That's pretty much what we have here, man. We have George Eastman's character who is being operated on and kind of wakes up, goes on a killing spree. It's like the entire movie. It really is, man.
Goes to this house with probably the worst child actor in the history of children actors, and he kills everybody.
Yeah.
That kid sucks. He's horrible.
Well, it's the dub, though, man. You can tell the dub on that little boy is probably a 12 or 13-year-old girl's voice. So it's hilarious to me. It's hilarious.
Let me ask you this: why was the church experimenting on fucking healing agents?
Why does the church do anything? I don't know. I mean, they're
Isn't that kind of like, doesn't that seem kind of blasphemous or something?
It seems a little bit contradictory considering they're supposed to just believe in God.
Yeah.
Right? And
like,
God
not
is
science.
Yeah, I mean it is very contradictory, and you have a very good point, because let's face it, if you're a believer of God and stuff, you believe in God created the universe. You don't believe in the Big Bang Theory, which is science. So why would you be testing on people? It's a very, very good point. It makes no fucking sense. I mean,
It doesn't make any sense at all. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I know. It makes no sense. Of course, that's where the priest comes in. He's trying to hunt down this guy because he's not good.
He's responsible for what's happening.
I dug the disembowelment, though. I'll tell you that.
Dude, there's some good kills in this movie, man.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's what this movie's known for. That's how it got
the meat saw is fucking brutal. It's fucking gnarly.
The bandsaw kill is one of the best. Like, honestly,
that alone could make it become a nasty. It's fucking brutal.
Honestly, I was gonna bring this up, but I think that this film and the other one are like a really good double feature.
Yeah,
like they just feel very similar to me.
I did that, man. I watched all three of these movies in a row. I was very pleasantly happy with watching Anthropophagus. Actually, I think that's the first time I've ever watched these movies back to back. And it was like, it was awesome. I was having a blast. But yeah, it's definitely found its way onto the video nasties list for the kills. The kills are brutal in this movie, man.
I was so surprised to see so much screen time of the Steelers
and the Rams.
And the Rams.
And this horrible
this weird ass Italian film.
Dude,
yeah, but what about the announcer? It's like,
I'm glad you brought this up, because
Big Bob is running down the field and he keeps on trucking along, and here comes the defenseman, Big Boy, blah blah, and he's about to tackle him along the way, and he's.
I don't even think those were football players.
They weren't.
No.
They couldn't use real names, right? So they had to make up names.
I don't know how they use the damn Steelers then.
Yeah.
But you know the fucked up thing is, though, man. Okay, I'm glad you brought this up, because it's something that's always cracked me up about this movie. So this is an Italian film that is obviously using all these Italian actors, all these Italian cliches are in the movie. Like, it's so Italian, right? But it takes place in America, right? It's almost confusing.
And Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's almost confusing because you
well.
feel like you're watching this movie like it's taking place in Italy because it's so Italian, but it's in America. And
they never say the Super Bowl. They say the championship because they probably doesn't have the trademarks to say the Super Bowl.
But they have weird dialogue like, hey, are you into American football? I was like, what the fuck? It's such a weird vibe, man. It's so strange. But yeah, man, they do show a lot of clips of, I'm assuming just from that game. Steelers and Rams, pretty funny. Yeah. I thought it was interesting too, because in 1980,
which was the Super Bowl, by the way.
Yeah, the Rams were in Los Angeles at that time. They've come full circle. They're back in Los Angeles.
Yeah,
so.
It was played January 20th, 1980.
There you go.
Steelers won 31-19 to get their fourth ring, I think. Fourth Super Bowl ring at the time. Yeah, I think fourth Super Bowl ring.
You would know more than anybody else.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've never actually seen that game.
You've seen parts of it, though.
Yeah. Yep.
But here comes Big Jim running down the field, and here comes the defenseman. Fucking, what kind of announcement is that? Can you imagine Joe Buck doing fucking commentary like that these days? Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The kills are good, though. The fucking oven scene is brutal. Her fucking face is melting off. It's awesome.
Yeah, that
scene's
good
brutal.
Stuff. I forgot
and
about that.
And it lingers, too. You know, it's not like one and
See,
done.
that's how I know I'm watching too many movies right now, because like I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
It
the
just
oven
happened a couple
the
days
oven
ago.
scene is brutal, man.
Yeah.
It's so brutal. The scissors in the neck and shit. That's some fucking brutal kills, man. It's awesome. I still think one of the biggest flaws, they should have killed the kid, man.
Yeah.
That would have been real shocking.
He sucked anyway.
Yeah. But like, come on, man. Like, man, okay, his sister, who's I always call an invalid,
Now
but
she can magically walk.
she's actually not. She's had I think she's had some type of back surgery type deal to fix her vertebrae or some shit. Anyways, her recovery is all about her laying flat and laying down and stuff. She's not supposed to move. But man, when she has to move though, she's moving. You know, it wasn't very convincing that she had a fucked
And
up
it's
back.
like she couldn't get those fucking straps off. It's like, bitch, please, it's not that fucking hard to get those straps off.
Well, yeah, I guess. But when she jumps out of that thing, I'm like, man, you're moving way too good. I don't know. I just find it funny. It's not even nitpicking. I just find it fucking hilarious. But yeah.
Yeah. So absurd.
Jeremy's net's all fucking up over there.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I mean, it's all fucking robotic as shit, man. But yeah, I mean, I can see why, you know, the censors weren't digging this one and wanted to ban it. I mean, in its uncut form, it's got decent kills, man. And you know, when I was watching this movie, I was kind of hoping that they would put some type of just a little bit more of a connection between Anthropophagus, considering it was supposed to be kind of a sequel. I mean, I guess it kind of is. I mean, he's the same character. He's just not rotting. You know, he's a mute killer.
Yeah, maybe he's the same killer. Maybe time's involved. Now he's... I don't know. Doesn't make sense, but...
Yeah. Don't know.
Who knows?
But yeah, absurd. I mean...
It's a Halloween ripoff. What more do you want?
In a sense, man, it really is. It really is, man. I mean, it's got similarities. Too close to Halloween to not say it's not. But I mean, this is one of like 150 fucking movies that were imitating Halloween at the time. So whatever, you can't blame them for doing it, man. It was an Italian film. This is what Italians did at the time, man. You know, there wasn't a whole lot of straight up original content in horror. You know, they were imitating a lot of American films, but I can accept it though, man. They're entertaining. So
yeah.
Jeremy,
Right.
what do you give absurd?
Another 6.
666.
So you mean to tell me that you like these movies pretty
All the
much
same.
all the same? Okay.
Yep. Same with last week too.
Start
Gave
calling
them all
this kid.
6. I gave one 6.5, but I gave them all 6s again last week too.
Hater.
He's the Jewish
I'm not
devil,
a
man.
hater.
He's the Jewish devil, man. He's
I just
666.
Maybe I just don't care for Italian films that much.
But you do though. You just don't like.
I like giallos.
Yeah. I mean, it's fair. It's fair. I mean, to be honest,
You just like your horror films to be slightly outside of horror.
Fucking hate you.
I mean, I have heard, you know, a lot of people say that they don't like giallos, but they dig other Italian films, so
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense. You know what I just fucking realized? I just remembered this right now. Beyond the Darkness is actually a remake of a film called The Third Eye.
Really?
From
I didn't know that.
From 1966. It was starring Franco Nero. I forgot to mention that. And
Interesting.
I wanted to mention that because I've never seen that movie. I don't know if it has like a legit release. It might. I don't know. I remember trying to look it up a couple years back, and I don't remember what my findings were. Maybe I found some type of Region 4. I don't know. But I just did a quick search. I couldn't find anything. But yeah, Beyond the Darkness is actually a remake, which I did not know until a couple years ago. Just happened to come across a little tidbit of info. But the compelling thing was it was starring Franco Nero, and I was like, fuck, I need to see that movie. It's got Franco Nero in it. That's amazing. So, yeah, little tidbit there.
Cool. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, gentlemen. I am getting extremely tired. I feel like I was about to pass out there for a second. But yeah, this was a fun
That's what my voice does.
Did you rate? Did I rate? Dude, I think I just blanked out for a second. I think I died for a second. Did we rate?
Yeah.
I know Jeremy rated.
Jeremy did.
Did you?
No,
No.
it's your turn.
Oh, okay. I like this one about as much as the Anthropophagus. Little less than Beyond Darkness. But arguably this one's a little bit more fun. But I just like the atmosphere so much more in the Anthropophagus.
Yeah.
But I think they're pretty equal in terms of like how much I enjoyed them. So I'm gonna just come in at a 7 on this one too.
Yeah, I think Absurd is a movie with great moments. It's got really good kills. You know, Eastman's awesome as the killer and shit. But I think the downtime in this movie is a little bit tedious. I mean, there's a lot of shit with football, and you're just like, it's so comical.
No, I loved seeing the Steelers win the Super Bowl.
Well, of course, but I figured you bring that up. But there is.
I was like, holy shit, this is like the coolest thing ever.
It just feels like there's filler for the sake of being filled for time in this movie. But to me, it's a film of really great moments and kills. And I mean, what else can you ask for? It's a Halloween ripoff. Like Jeremy said, it totally is 100% a Halloween ripoff. And what do we watch slasher films for? For the fucking kills. And that's what's really great about this movie. It's got awesome, brutal kills. Yeah, the blood might look a little bit too red, but who cares? We're using bandsaws and shit, man.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that. It's fucking brutal. I'm in at 7.5 on this one.
All right. So that's Italian Horror Month for the year.
Other ones done.
Pretty cool.
Someone most definitely is going to comment to me like, man, you guys sounded tired on this show.
Dude, no, I don't know what happened. It feels like I fucking took a sleeping pill or something. Like I just started like yawning like crazy. My eyes are getting all heavy. I normally don't get like that. It's not even that late.
Well, to be honest, recently we've been usually done an hour and a half ago.
Yeah. Oh, really?
We started a little bit later tonight because I had late hockey and shit. So shit was. I really did my best to get going tonight, but I just.
It's all your fault, Moodz.
It was late hockey picture. Oh my god, fucking just a whole pile of shit. Anyways, we started a lot later than we usually do, so that's probably contributing to it. And to be honest,
when
I was
JP's
tired.
tired, says okay, but whenever I'm tired, everybody fucking bitches at me.
That's because I'm not an asshole about it. I'm just tired. I don't whine.
There you go. Yeah, man. You know,
I don't
if you
whine
be
when
nice
I'm tired,
about
I'm just
it.
literally tired.
If you be nice when you're tired, you know. But yeah, no. So I mean, it's probably contributing, but yeah.
Italian Horror Month, pretty good year. Again, I enjoyed the Argento. The Diodato I liked minus Cut and Run. Wasn't super into that one. And then the filmmaker Jeremy picked was actually a nice little surprise. I enjoyed his films, Fernando De Leo, as well as Derek's Joe D'Amato. So I pretty much I enjoyed everything minus Cut and Run. That's the only film that I didn't really care for.
You know, I put that in there just to piss you off too, right? Because I could have went with In a House on the Edge of the Park, but
would have been perfect. This would have been the greatest Italian Horror Month ever.
Yeah, I fucked it all up, didn't I?
It was an interesting choice just because it was different and from a different year and stuff like that. It was interesting. It just didn't hit with me too well.
Yeah, to be honest, I picked it because I knew it was something you hadn't seen, and you'd seen House in the Park, and I thought that was kind of the obvious choice. I mean, even though Cannibal Holocaust would probably, most people would say that would be an obvious choice too, but I mean,
but we just needed to do that.
Yeah,
it's been 4 fucking years.
So what do we have here, man?
Episode 150.
The Italian month. How many did we produce? Any Hall of Famers this month besides Cannibal Holocaust?
No, that's the only one.
Yeah. Okay. So just one. I don't think we had. Did we have any last year?
Nope.
Tenebrae. Is that part of that?
Tenebrae. Yep.
Okay.
But Tenebrae didn't get in on the episode.
That's right. Yeah.
Got in for 82, I think.
Our Italian hormones aren't producing a whole lot of. I think in the earlier ones.
I know that's why we probably need to return to Bava and maybe some other filmmakers. I mean, we covered. If you think about how many films we covered from Italian horror films, what That's 16 episodes times 3. What's that? 9. I don't know.
48? 48, I believe.
See? It's a lot of movies to talk about.
Yeah.
It's a lot of reviews. But, yeah, next year, fresh new sets of directors. We'll see what's up. Fresh new films to talk about.
Well, we'll have 3 fresh new directors.
Not necessarily. We could return to Baba or...
I still think that there is some directors that I would like to... I mean, if we have a Patreon, maybe somebody will pick Bruno Mattei. There's Cozy. There's lots. There's Albert.
Who's the dude that did Devilfish?
That was Lamberto Bava.
Was it?
Lights are really flickering now.
Who was another guy I was thinking of recently? Can't remember.
Which we did Bava, and actually, come to think, one of his films made the Hall of Fame. Demons.
But that was because of Derek.
Who did Cannibal Apocalypse? That's I want to do that.
Oh, Cannibal is it Margaretti who did that? That's another one we haven't done, man, is Antonio Margaretti.
Yep, Margaretti.
Okay, yeah.
Because I watched Cannibal Apocalypse last year, and I really liked that movie.
Yeah, Antonio Margaretti. Damn, dude, that's a name that wow. How am I forgetting about Margaretti, man? He's done some really good
films. Has he done enough horror films?
He did Castle of Blood in 1964.
Oh, yeah. He's done tons of horror films.
Okay. Yeah, maybe.
I wouldn't say a ton.
Well, he's done enough to do a show.
Oh, he did Killer Fish. That's what I was thinking of.
He did 7 Dead in the Cat's Eye. I don't know if that has a release. It's on Prime, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's done a ton of movies, huh?
Oh, yeah. Last Hunter was Margaretti. That's right. I think I said that was
That might
Martino.
not be a bad one for Jeremy to pick since he's like random.
No, I'm going to pick somebody randomer than that.
Yeah, actually.
Randomer than that? That dude's pretty random.
Yeah, he didn't
Not as random as like DeLeo or Bianchi.
Wow, he even had credits for Flesh for Frankenstein.
Huh.
For quota purposes, that's funny.
Wow. Yeah, that's a pretty cool month thing that we've created, and I like doing it. It's sad when it ends, but also I'm kind of relieved too, just because it's like I want to start. Usually around this time, it's time to get into the end of the year stuff. So it's like I'm kind of excited to really get going on that, which we have even less time to prep this time than we normally do. Because we're recording, I think, 2 weeks earlier than we normally do, actually.
Yeah, and
for the end of the year show.
And we're actually recording more shows in December than we usually do.
Yeah.
So it's
so we're recording episode 150 coming out next week. That will be our 50 greatest, or to us, favorite horror films.
Personal favorites, yeah.
Personal favorites. It's just going to be a fun time. No matter how no debates or anything, because it's just what we like, and it'll be funny to see like what people come. I'm actually like, I know there's gonna be a lot of movies that I haven't seen probably on Moods' list, and I'm really curious to see what Jeremy comes up with, like how many.
I don't think there'll be that many now. I don't know. You've seen a lot of the films that I've seen now that might be making this. I don't know. I'd have to really think about that, actually. But
I think my list will probably be like pretty predictable because I'm pretty vocal about like, my favorite shit.
No matter how we put it, personal favorite lists and stuff, you're still going to have comments where people disagree with what you like.
Oh, I can't. I welcome that just because I think it's
like
funny.
People think they just can't tell the difference between best and favorite lists, right? It's hilarious, man. It's so funny when people are like, yeah, I don't.
Like,
I don't
they'll be
agree
like,
with that.
Leprechaun isn't better than Friday the 13th Part 4, and I'll be like, I know, but I like it more.
Yeah,
which isn't true. But
I love it, man. I love it.
But yeah, this is a hard one, man. I'm struggling heavy. I got a lot of work to do this week for finishing my list. Because I don't want to have that moment where like a film comes up and I'm like, dude, I totally forgot about that. I want to at least feel like I weighed everything, weighed all the options, and made the right cuts.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, And then after that, I think we have Sono Sono show. And then we're off for a little bit. Or we're not. We have a Christmas show coming up after that.
So we're not off.
I don't know if we're doing the Christmas show right. I don't know what the lineup is with that. But yeah, it might be 2 more shows, 3 more shows in a row, then a break, then the end of the year show. Or it might be 2 shows, break, and then 2 shows back to back. I don't know. I forget how our schedule is laid out. And that'll pretty much take us to the end of the year there. And then next year we have a bunch of stuff planned, obviously. We already have stuff mapped out. But getting caught up on Patreon shit next beginning of the year. It's important. We have a few shows that we need to get to. So yeah. Here it is. Here's the okay, so 150, yeah, so 150 Sono Sono Xmas off a week, then end of the year show.
Okay.
So December's heavy. It's heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should be good stuff.
Yeah. There is one situation in which we might not get to the Sono Sono show, and then we'd bump it to next year. That week's kind of up in the air if we can record or not, I think, if my memory serves. But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, shit happens, man. But
we'll get it all done.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. But we got great shows coming next year too, right off the bat. We got the fucking Dead franchise in January.
For 2 weeks.
And the Thing show in January.
Who bought that?
Sam.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
the Thing trilogy.
I think that was his third one.
I better pick up that Blu-ray. I know it came back in stock finally.
What?
The Thing from Another Place, Warner Archives Blu-ray.
Oh shit! I need to buy that too.
Thing from Another World?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen that. Dude, come on.
Episode 2.
$21.99.
Type 90, type.
All right, anyways.
Fucking $2.
Let's get out of here. I'm not going to.
I'm going to go take a nap now.
I'm starving. Haven't eaten since like 11, so my big belly can't handle this, man. All right, so Jeremy, take us out of here.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to episode 149 of the 22 Shots of Moodz and Horror podcast. If you want to follow the alcoholic Moodz, you snoring, bro? Is that Dexter?
No, he just told you he was going to take a nap.
Oh. Is he passed out already?
He's fucking out, man. He's out.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. Follow the alcoholic, youtube.com/mood616.
I can't repeat that too.
You can follow the sleepy asshole JP at youtube.com/doubleshotj and tell him he's like Derek by falling asleep on the show. You can follow me on my channel, youtube.com/NESRuler22. Please leave us any voicemails at 724-426-6665, or you can leave us a email at the 22 shots of moods and horror at gmail.com. It's the 22 shots of moods and the horror at gmail.com. Please follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/22 shots podcast, and follow us on Facebook, facebook.com search bar 22 shots podcast, 22 shots of moods and horror podcast. And please support the show by getting sand sucked out of my vagina on the Patreon at patreon.com/22 shots podcast. And that should do it up, everybody, for episode 149 of the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast. We'll be back with episode 150, the 50th episode since I've come back, which is kind of crazy. And that will be dropping next week on the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast.
And the 150th episode since I've been here.
Yep.
Oh, and also, last thing. This is pretty crazy, guys. But this week is our anniversary. Fuck.
Aw. You're going to get a room or something?
So the 30th, I think, will be the anniversary of our recording date for the first episode ever, the 5-year anniversary. And then when we record the 150th show, that will be the date that the first episode aired, December 2nd.
Wow. Wow.
So, happy birthday to us.
Yeah, buddy. Who's giving us the hand jobs?
Half a decade. Bitch.
Dude,
half a decade.
Dude, when you say that, it like, holy
Man,
shit.
we're old.
We are. You were like a little boy when you got on here.
I was 20.
Yeah.
Didn't even have fucking hair on his balls yet. It's crazy.
Yeah. He just got his pubes recently.
Oh, I was probably 19, to be honest. No, I was 20. Just over 20.
I was still old. But.
How many vaginas have you slayed in 5 years? And
0.
Here's to another decade.
Probably. At this rate.
All right.
We're outie. Yeah.